Hey guys, I know it's a pretty down night right now. Cause it's Taco Tuesday. Let's go! You ready to eat some tacos, bro? You ready to eat some tacos, bro? Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Hey, don't want no pizza. We about to get it. It's Tuesday drink. More margaritas. And with Katrina. She loves Selena. She likes it hard. Melts out tortillas.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Taco Tuesday. I'm your host that likes medium roast, Hebro77 here, and tonight is a very special Taco Tuesday. It is Ladies' Night edition of Taco Tuesday, and we'll go around the horn here. We've got HoneyAnn on the program here tonight. The truth will set you free. Awake and activate. And of course, with me as always, good old Sagittarically speaking.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome, ladies, to a fantastic Taco Tuesday Ladies' Night edition. And, of course, we've got three fine, lovely ladies here. Not only are they beautiful, smart, and intelligent, but they're actually interesting people just in general to have on a show. So we are lucky to have each and every single one of you, and you all three are very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sag and Hebro.
Cool.
So with all that being said, HoneyAnn, would you like to go first as far as like just kind of telling us, a little bit about yourself, who you are? I know most people here probably already know you, but just a brief introduction.
Sure. I'm in the South. I live over by Dallas, Texas. And I'm just a girl who loves Jesus. I live on a farm, and I do a whole lot of live streaming, mainly about the Lord. And I'm ordained. Let's see, what else could I say? I'm a nana. I've got 6 grandchildren. And that's about it. That's my life, guys.
Yes, and I actually subscribe to your YouTube channel. You are a content creator, and you do put out interesting stuff. So what I'll do here in the next few minutes is, once the show gets going, I'll include a link to your channel. So in case somebody wants to subscribe that isn't already subscribed, they can do so. Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just said thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And then the other two ladies have been on the show before. I know for sure. Let's go ahead and start with Vivian, who I unfortunately did not get to sing happy birthday to yesterday because I was not, or on Sunday because I was not there. I was having technical internet difficulties. So maybe sometime this evening I can sing you a belated birthday song. But until then, are you there? Can you hear us?
I can.
Well, it's never too late, man. Just saying. And by the way, I did sing happy birthday to her. I didn't have my arm twisted this time, so that's good.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you sung off key though, right? Because the important thing about happy birthday song is you can't sing it on key.
Well, I don't know. I thought so. I thought I was hurting everybody's ears, but apparently they didn't think so. So I don't know.
All right, we'll have to go back and check the tape.
Check the tape, man.
All right, and we also have Miss Awake and Activate, aka Michelle's Opinion, aka Notorious Woman in Charge.
Yeah, right. I go with the flow. I also am ordained, but I just don't tell people. But unless they make a contribution towards helping others, and things like that. So it can actually help them on their taxes and things like that, whether it be to help the channel or help another or help me pass along funds to people in need. You know, it makes it easier. I can give them my ordination number and they could put it on their, if they're in the United States, in their tax forms. So that way it's deductible. I don't think I'll be into the marrying people, and I'm not a preacher. I really am into the individual walk that we each have, and it is there for each and every one of us, and no two are alike. And that's what keeps this world so interesting and growing and expanding. And thank you for having me on Ladies Night.
You know, interesting, you didn't ask me anything about myself. You know, it's really weird. You have 3 women who have preached here, and I used to actually preach live in a Baptist setting type church, but I still am ordained, but I moved away from what would I say, organized religion about 20 years ago, and it was probably the best thing I ever did for myself. So, but for in my mid 20s to mid 30s, I was standing at a pulpit preaching to people. But I don't normally talk about it either, Michelle. That's really interesting. We have a lot in common.
We find out more and more about each other and how much more we have in common as time rolls out. And that's what keeps it so interesting when we talk in our conversations. You know, there's many times that I've talked to several people that I lose track of time. It seems like it's been 15 minutes and it's been 4 hours.
Oh yeah, me and you.
Yeah.
Did that have something? I wonder if people who are the same energies are all the ones that have these same energies, and then we are all sort of the ones who are awakening to all these things at the same time. Like, not just like somebody who does, you know, I don't know how I'm trying to say it. I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. It's like time just goes so fast. And then you feel like when you're done with the conversation that there was so much still unsaid. But that's what keeps it interesting and keeps conversations flowing. And that's why you come back for more. So we can hear more about each other and learn and grow. That's amazing.
Me and you will say we're going to be on for just a minute, and we end up 6 hours online talking. So
I know. It happens.
Oh, we lost HoneyAnn. She dropped out.
She'll pop in and out.
Yeah,
she'll be back.
She said she'll do that periodically.
Oh,
You know, so this is a special night. It's Ladies' Night. I've been wanting to have this for a long time now, but
did you plan that, Hebrew?
Plan what now?
That all 3 of us were ordained.
No, that's just synchronicities.
Interesting. 3 and all ordained. Wow.
that's easy.
It is. I mean, I'm my mind is blown. You know, it's like a total ME effect. Nope, I didn't say the word.
You didn't say Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Oh, oh my God.
That worked out.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I laughed and then I started coughing. Oh my God.
We all hit it at the same time, talking about synchronicities, right?
All right. Yeah, I don't think we've been that synced up ever.
You know what? I have something really interesting to show you about an ME. That was a personal one, except I don't know how you feel about playing a video. If I send it to you, Hebrew, to your Hangouts, if it's something that you would want to show. I had a personal ME that I went ahead and recorded. That happened to me, I think it was yesterday or Monday morning. It was yesterday morning.
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, it is your video.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
well,
your video. It's a Mandela effect, and it's ladies' night. I'd like to hear his case. Let's hear his best argument against showing it. That's what I'd like to hear.
did you say Mandela effect?
Yes, I did.
Mandela
well-
effect.
Mandela effect. Aren't we supposed to do something when someone says it?
Yeah, but the moment has passed, unfortunately.
And then I
So we
said
could try.
it. So
We could try again. Like, hold on. It is a Mandela effect.
Mandela.
effect.
Yeah, it just don't work unless it's. It don't work unless it just spontaneously happens, right?
Right.
Okay.
But speaking of plan this, when you were asking if Hebrew and I planned this about the ordained thing, we actually did not plan that. We had no clue that that was going to be a synchronicity. But you ladies do need to understand how many months, like, we had to be on this like flaxseed diet, eat raw eggs, and work out in the snow to get these avatars.
Can I ask a question? I don't know how to get back to. I dropped it down on my cell phone, the show, and now I can't figure out how to get back to that. It's not in my notifications.
Like
So
as far as the YouTube link.
No, just the link for just to be able to see what I dropped it down thinking it would stay in my notifications like a phone call will when you're on your phone. But
Right.
instead it just disappeared off my screen. So now I have no connection to
Hit
where
your
I was
internet
at in the
browser.
background. You
I'll
not me.
hit the go back button on my phone, just the go back button, and it'll take you back to the screen.
Arrow back is easiest.
Yeah, or you scroll down,
It's
scroll down your screen, Vivian. I mean, the truth is set you free, and it'll show you the pages you have pulled up on your phone as well. Okay. Are you using Android? Because it may be different if you're on iOS.
Hello, you still there, Vivian?
Oh, we lost the Vivster.
I see her, but I don't hear her. She may be.
Well, one of our bouncers might have taken her out. I don't know.
Well, ever since we had a really bad storm here, like last week, and I've got to get a technician out here to do whatever they work the magic, whatever it is they do. Because every time it storms really bad, my internet just goes down the crapper. I have such a hard time, Even on my own streams, I get kicked off all the time. I have to jump back in.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yay, we hear you. Yay.
Oh, I figured it out. Do you know where I had to go to find me? I had to go down to not notifications, but down on the bottom of my phone to the 3 lines. Go there, click there to the last web pages I had open because I could still hear y'all, but I couldn't find how to get it. And guess what, Hebrew? I sent you the video. So it's going to take about 3 minutes to load because it's a 4-minute video. Okay.
Well, while we're doing that, we got 8 people in here, but not too many of them are talking.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I was gonna do a shout out, but I mean, it'd take me. There's only 2 names really, so there's no point in it just yet, really. I mean, I can name the 2 people that are here. It looks like Tina, God's Love, and Armor Up have showed up so far, but we'll wait and do an actual shout out when we get a few more pop in, okay?
I was going to say, Tina, God's Love is here in support. She's my friend. And Ron's my friend too, though.
So, Vivian, you were mentioning a personal Mandela effect. Do we have to wait to watch the video, or?
Yeah, I thought it would be a better way to do it because I'm not breathing and then I start coughing. So to talk that long might not be good tonight, but I'm glad I'm here still. But yeah, I will tell you something. I will say this. I'm a super organized person, and I'm sure Michelle could tell you that for sure. She's kind of caught my personality, but there was something that happened with my prescription for my inhaler, but it's really interesting. I mean, I think it's just better said in the video. But yeah, did you say Mandela effect?
Mandela effect.
I'm the only one catching this.
Mandela effect. What?
We got Go Kart Bob in the house. That's awesome.
Go kart Bob. Hey.
I hear he races go karts up to speeds about 80 miles per hour. So that's awesome.
Oh wow.
I didn't even know you could get a go kart up that fast.
Well, that's how fast you have to get it in order to somewhere in that range to get it, to do the time paramount thing like the DeLorean and Back to the Future.
Hey, my husband did that with the lawnmower. I mean, he souped it up, and it looked like he was in NASCAR the way he was mowing the yard.
Your husband related to Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Yeah, no, but he really has our riding mower power. So. Just say that. I've never seen anybody mow a whole acre in like 8 seconds flat. No, I'm kidding. Wow. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I tell you
what. Why do I imagine him like with a pit crew? He pulls up on like on a pallet, and they change the tires out real fast and put a new blade on it, and he takes off again.
I'm just saying, I've never seen anybody mow an acre of land the way he does. Oh, that's country life, people. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Awesome. I like your laugh, HoneyAnn.
Oh, thank you. I'm a cheese ball. What can I say? But take it or leave it. This is all me all the time. Some people have like a personality when they get on YouTube, and it's totally different from who they really are. But this is me. Tina can attest to it, and in chat, it's me 24/7.
That reminds me. I think the brand, the cheese ball brand. I think the word cheese balls changed, if I'm not mistaken.
Really.
Yeah. I think it's
but as far as like being a cheese ball, that I'm that anyway, no matter what. You know what I think? Even if you are a cheese ball, as long as you're yourself, that's what makes you fun and an interesting person to be on YouTube. The people who pretend on YouTube, they might be funny or interesting for a minute in their persona that they've created, but over time it starts to become a labor that not only is the person not enjoying putting up the facade anymore, but the listener is no longer enjoying listening to it. It's bound to fail over time. Being yourself is definitely the best recipe for long-lasting relationships, YouTube channels, you name it. You know what I mean?
Well, first and foremost, I come by rightfully because I come from a long line of cheese balls. That's in my DNA. and it's true what you're saying, because if you have a fake persona, it does become stale, because it's like basically you're perpetrating a lie. It's not who you truly are. And it does really become stale, because how long can somebody hold that up? The truth always comes out.
Yeah, the truth.
When I was really young, this girl and me, we were going to sign up for this type of a place where you go to it's like those official date sites that you used to go to in a big building, and then they would have lists to look through to put through people that you might be potential date, so forth.
Whoa!
This whole,
Sound, Viv.
What's wrong?
It's doing that.
Yeah, it's like you went on speaker or something all of a sudden.
So right while I was finally talking,
You're perfect, and then it just does it. It just goes chop, and then you're all robotic and staticky.
It's like you switch
right when you're in that point too. I mean, right when she's
no, it's like right when you get to the best part, it switches over to a hot mic that sounds like you're in a tin can.
By the way,
what's it sound like now?
You sound like
a
chipmunk.
Like you're in tin can again.
Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to have to come back. Bye.
All right, cool.
It does that all the time, and it's always when see, now you guys got to experience that. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've heard her do it before.
Minor correction, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just real quick, a minor correction. It's not 85 miles per hour. He said he can get it up to 120.
Oh wow, 120. I assume that's like in a straight line. Like I don't think you'd be doing too many tight curves at that speed in a go-kart.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes, much better. Do you remember where you got cut off at?
Yes. I
Like,
finally remember something in my life. Trust me, I barely remember. But what I was saying was, basically it was one of those walk-in where kind of like eHarmony, but it's not. There was never computers back then. So we went in and you had to fill out a bunch of questionnaires to find out who was going to be your match. And now I don't remember the reason I was telling the story. Oh, yeah, I remember now. It's funny, Anna, I was saying about being honest. So this girlfriend of mine was with me, and the lady takes us into this office and sits down, and she decides to interview me first, for this thing. And she says, well, first you have to be, you have to, the lady's trying to tell me I have to be fake on the first day with whoever I go out. And I was like, no. My girlfriend stopped her. She goes, no way, this will never work. She says, Vivian is always going to be the person that she is. She's not going to just put on an act for somebody. And so that it's very true. You have to be your true self. And I think that's why I chose my name years ago for Facebook. I mean, for YouTube, for Truth Sets You Free. Sometimes you'll say it wrong, but it doesn't upset me because you'll add will to it sometimes, Hero. But I guess truth will or truth. Truth sets you free. Truth will set you free.
Wait, it's not truth will set you free?
No, it's just the truth sets you free.
Are you serious?
It's never had a will, but you've always said will, and I just didn't.
That must be a Mandela effect then.
A Mandela effect.
A Mandela effect.
Mandela.
That was good, guys. That's good. But no, on a serious level, though, it seems like I always thought it was the truth will. It's never been the truth will.
No, I've not changed my channel name in about. Well, let me tell you when I changed my channel name. I used to be V Lucidity, which would stand for Vivian Clarity, because of lucidity. Well, I'm hoping my voice ain't going to change, but Michelle, you let me know if it does. So back in the day when the shooting happened and my step granddaughter got killed at the that Sutherland Baptist, I started getting in fights with people who were doing conspiracy theory videos on it. So I decided that I would change my name. And that's when I picked that name when Haley died, because I was combating and I was, they could believe what they wanted to believe. And I said, look, I understand. I've believed right along with y'all that the shootings weren't real, but this one is. And I literally could look at the videos and it was as if I didn't know better, it would look like it had been fake, but this was just hit too close to home. So, so that's why I changed to the truth sets you free. The truth sets you free. And I've always heard you say it with will in it, but I just never said anything to you because I figured you. That brings me to another ME, and that would be the one. Remember the Sex in the City, and every time she's called up, Sarah Jessica Parker, to the front when she's winning in the Oscars. I'm gonna cough. Sorry. When she's winning in the Oscars, every time she comes to the forefront, and they always are saying, Sarah Jessica Parker, Sex in the City. If it wasn't that, why wouldn't she eventually go to the front and correct it? And then I was also watching the first episode of Sex in the City, and she says in the episode, this guy's, there with her, and he says, what do you do for a living? She goes, oh, I write an article for the newspaper called Sex in the City. or for some whatever magazine or whatever.
Wow.
So you would think that people would eventually correct it at the Oscars. She won like 10 awards, and they kept just saying Sex in the City, which proves it was Sex in the City. You don't have sex with the city by saying Sex in the City.
Unless you're like, kind of like
I don't know. Bro, tell me.
I don't know.
When he does that, I get scared every
Yeah,
time.
I mean, I want to. If I wanted to have sex with the city, Hebrew, how would I go about doing that?
Oh my God, here we go.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well,
That
I
would be a
heard
lot of
I
people,
can't
would it
tell
not? I
you
mean,
guys about 2 weeks ago. I heard something that was kind of bizarre to me. I mean, for me, Zachariah Sitchin. He's always been Zachariah Sitchin, and I heard 2 or 3 people that were like reputable call him Zachariah Stitchin, and then it seemed like everywhere I went, people were calling him Stitchin and not Sitchin.
snitches get stitches, right?
Well, I mean, I even discussed this with Dan. Dan remembers Sitchin too. Chin like Chin, and now it's spelled different and stuff.
Now, who are we talking about again? What is this?
Zachariah Sitchin.
All right, I'm going to look it up while you guys keep talking.
Okay.
Well, that's the right way to say it.
Right, and on Ancient Aliens, my husband was watching it, and they actually called him Stitchin, and he used to go on that channel all the time. They know his name, and I just thought that was kind of odd. And then there's another one for me. You remember the song, the classical song? Is it Fleur Elise or Fleur Elise? You guys remember that? I think it's Beethoven.
Which song? Which song? Sing it.
Okay, I remember Fleur Elise, Fleur, Fleur, and everybody thinks, yeah, but it's now it's coming up as Fleur Elise, Fur. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is this a song?
Yeah, it's classical. It's Beethoven.
Oh, yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's one of my favorite songs. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, mine too. But it was Fleur Elise, and now it's Fleur Elise.
I thought it was for Ellis, Ellis.
Yeah, mine too.
What just happened?
I don't know. That was weird.
A glitch.
My voice just reset everything on its own. Hebrew, did you do that?
I don't have that kind of power.
Oh my God, that was weird. Okay, so wasn't it FURELLIS?
Well, for me, it was FLUR and then ELISE, Fleur Elise.
Oh no, for me it always had a FUR. There was
Okay.
no, I don't remember an L.
Well, it's been 50.
What do you remember, Michelle?
When I speak to people, it's been 50-50.
That's crazy.
What? The fleur-de-lis?
She said Fleur. See, she said Fleur like me.
Yeah,
FLUR.
it's like the 3 pillars coming out of the top, and then 3 smaller ones identical to it, but in a smaller form on the bottom is like their logo.
Well, I'm talking about Beethoven, the classical song, but it changed now.
I'm wondering if it had to do with that symbolism.
I don't know.
His song was inspired by it, or the symbol was inspired by his song. We never know what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Right.
I kind of think the egg came first.
I gotta think.
I think it's a chicken.
I gotta think the chicken too. I gotta go with that. Simply because
The creation.
where would the egg come from if not from a chicken?
Well, then, okay, let's put it in a different way.
How did the chicken get there if he didn't come out of an egg?
He pooped into existence.
The egg is representing us, and God breathed life into us, so we would be the eggs.
Okay.
So,
but if God made the egg first,
but
the chicken would ultimately be first,
Right.
but it's a one-of-a-kind chicken that breathed life into all these eggs,
But now, wait a minute. With that being said,
and allowing us to multiply.
with that being said, though, Adam and Eve were not babies. I mean, I'm just saying.
How do you know?
They were. Well, I wasn't there or anything, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just.
Maybe they hit puberty, just like what was that movie? Oh my gosh, where the brother and sister got stranded on that island, and they were really young and innocent, and then as they
Blue Lagoon.
Yes, as they grew up, they started to understand different things about themselves and started covering certain areas of their body that was different from the others, where they didn't know the difference when they were younger. I don't know, just things like that.
Are you guys watching chat? Criminal was asking a question.
All right, I can do that.
Okay.
But go ahead, since you know the question.
Who, me? Oh,
Oh, okay, we got Aiden here now.
He said, I need a mentor or friends or a group therapy people hang out with. He's okay. What he says is the song by the Missing Persons in 1982. What are words for? The lyrics changed, he said. Anybody remember what are the words for when no one listens anymore? Now she says there's no use talking at all. And he said she didn't sing that. She said there's no use talking anymore.
Huh.
Now she says there's no use talking at all. Okay.
I remember at all.
Okay. There you go, Patrick.
I remember at all.
Okay.
Well, Hebrew, are you able to bring up the clip or the song? We can check out 30 seconds of it, maybe.
Go kart Bob says if the egg came first, then who would hatch the chicken? That's what I was saying too.
Right.
And I looked up this Stitchin this guy. He's an author, right?
I like how he.
Yeah, science, like science fiction, science. He does the Sumerian tablets, right?
Hold on, I had it right here. Okay, so if I can back up. I lost it, so hold on a second.
All right. You know, while you're
I'm going to sing it.
I just wanted to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No listens anymore.
Oh, I see what you're doing
No listens, yeah.
Patrick says, please play the song Missing Persons, What Are Words For video. 30 seconds of it.
Okay, I'm going to try this again. All right, so I found a Zachariah Sitchin, Sitchin,
That's him.
who is an author of books proposing an explanation of human origins and ancient astronauts. Sound like the guy, right?
That's him.
All right, and I scroll down a little bit, and I find a Zachariah Sitchin, same spelling, under Wikipedia. But then I'm also finding examples of where people are spelling it Stitchin with the Stitch.
See?
So it definitely looks into his Facebook. There's a Facebook page with that spelling.
Wow. Maybe it's in the process of changing, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm seeing it spelled both ways.
Yeah.
On Reddit, I think people were under the impression he spells it Stitch, Stitchin.
Right, and it's Sitchin. But he passed away, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting. I'm not familiar with him. I mean, I may have known something that he did and, not realized it was him, so to speak. But
he was on Ancient Aliens a lot when he was still alive. Yeah, way back in the day. He hadn't been passed away too long, guys. Maybe about a year, I think. But he was a translator of the Sumerian tablets. That's who he was.
So I have a question for you guys, or for you ladies. Have you seen the news today, or I think it came out yesterday, late in the day, about this thing with Joe Biden experiencing the Mandela effect?
Mm-mm.
Apparently, he's in his speeches, he's been naming this time on 2 or 3 different occasions. He's named this moment where he claims to have visited Nelson Mandela when he was in jail, but there's no actual records or anything of this. And this apparently took place back, when, the aforementioned jail time was being served, when we thought that he had all died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have both memories. I want you to know. I remember him dying in jail, but I also remember him getting out and becoming president.
Right. So let's watch the video Hebrew has put up, and then here in a minute I'll tell you more about it, and we'll get some comments from you guys.
Well, let me know if this is it, because I have no idea what I'm supposed to be looking for here at this point.
Go to about 18 seconds in and press play.
18 seconds in.
Yeah. You know what he said about that long?
He said 30 seconds, actually.
Oh, 30 seconds. My bad.
All right.
Thank you.
I thought he said play it for 30 seconds. I don't know. But all right. Is this the right one?
He said yes.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that song.
I'm not either, so
Me
I
neither.
really can't tell you guys
You
either way.
stopped it. You stopped it before she goes to say it.
Well, okay. See,
Okay.
what you got to understand, Vivian, is I've never heard of this song before in my life. So I don't know. Just let me know where it is. I don't want to play too much of it because I don't want to get in trouble. Oops. I guess I played that too fast. Let's see here. Go here. Okay, I think I heard her say it, but I don't know what I'm looking for at the same time. So just let me know where it is.
Why not go slower instead of faster?
At all. She said it. At all. There's no use talking at all. Yep.
I mean, I can go slower. Go back.
It's one of my favorite songs, y'all. So I'm pretty sure that it was at all.
Yeah, Patrick is saying that she used to say there's no use talking anymore. So he
Well,
remembered. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play it now. So you listen and just tell me
We're
what.
listening. We're listening.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly. She is saying at all,
Mhm.
and he remembers anymore.
Right.
But
Ah,
I've never had an anymore. I've listened to the song. That's the who is that sings that now? I can't remember. Who is that?
That is Missing Persons, honey.
Missing Persons. Yeah. That's a band back from when I was young.
82 and 83 is when it was a hit. It's what Preliminary says.
When I got married around the time I got married to my first husband.
okay. We're going to take
Wow.
one.
I'm getting old.
I'll play it once more.
He said it was a major hit.
Oh, I think I just passed it up. Anyway, well there you go. Now I also have that video. I believe you wanted to share with us, Vivian.
Yes, I muted myself so you wouldn't hear me at my desk. But yes,
Okay.
yes. I had a phone call come earlier too, and I had to mute. And trying to do. Yeah, so yeah, I'm ready. I want to watch this with y'all. This is crazy.
Here we go. You'll probably have to explain what's happening here. I don't know what.
Well, no, the video will explain everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I've had something really strange happen. This is like a little medicine cabinet that I have, and I keep it real organized. And down here, I keep all of these boxes of nebulizer treatments for my asthma, which is right now on fire. So I'm having to go do a treatment, but they stack within this space. And the other day when I was reorganizing them, I did not organize them to where I put the ones that were going to expire sooner to the front. I actually was going to go back in and do that, but I never got around to it, so that I would grab the expired ones first. Well, so I came in here just now to grab a box, and I started going through them so that I could find the ones that expired closer to the year they were filled. Usually, if you fill them, there's like a year out of the time that they're filled. But as you can see, this one, it says that it was filled up in the corner of 2019, which that doesn't make a difference. I always look at this part right here. And if you look on the third row down, it says January 21. And if I sound weird, it's because I'm actually not breathing and need to be in there doing a treatment, not a video. But so what happened was I came in here to look for the box that would be an older box so I wouldn't waste medicine. Well, every single box says 21 now. January 21. January 21. There are 2 boxes that say April of 21. That one's January 21. You can just barely see it. Every single box is January 21. There's not one single box except there is an April one over here somewhere. That's a January of 21. They're all January 21. I took them all out of the cabinet going, I knew I had some older ones. I would never have all the same date. There's April right there. Oops, hand's shaking. I need to go do a treatment. I'm not breathing. So I don't know what to make of this, y'all. I really don't. This is a total impossibility that my treatments, which I'm going to grab a box and go back to do, would just switch like this. I mean, I keep them all stored down perfectly in here normally. And like I said, since I rearranged the medicine cabinet, I did not, what am I trying to say? I did not take the time to decide, which ones I needed to pull forward the other day, but I was going to go back in and do it. And then I thought, well, since I'm in here grabbing some, let me go back to the back and grab the older ones. And they're all dated the same. I mean, I'm kind of glad in a way because, they won't go to waste if I need them. But anyway, so that's the story of what's going on with me right now. And it is a little bit freaky. And I know I've not lost my mind because I am an extremely organized person and do not. This is how they fit in here. And then I'm just going to take one back with me. And this is how they go. So, and I know for a fact that this is just totally insane. So, anyway, well, I don't know what to make of it.
Well, there you go. I don't know what to make of that.
So I see there's no way, none of them. Okay. When I fill them, I fill about 4 of them at a time. And sometimes there'll be 6 to 8 months between filling the 4. Okay. Because I don't use them all the time unless I get like sick with a sinus infection, which then drips in my lungs and is doing what's going on now. So, sometimes I'll have so many of them that I'll, give them to this other girlfriend of mine who has asthma. She's an older woman and hers costs so much money for her. So I'll just give her different boxes, but there would no way that I've ever even filled more than 4 at a time that would be within a period that they would all land on the 20. There's just no way they were all the 2021. No way.
Preliminal wants to know what was their date before.
Some of them had dates that were expiring, that were already expired for 2019. There was a few I needed to go through and throw away. And then some of those boxes had more the earlier part of this year, and I was going to use those first. Does that make sense? Because what you do is it's a little liquid, and you put it in, and you can use one box comes with about 10 in it, and you do about 3 to 4 treatments, maybe 3 treatments, depending on if you're doing it every 6 hours and you're staying up in the middle of the night doing it. So some of the ones that what I was looking for was to throw away the ones that were expired then to take the ones that were expiring closer to this year and use those first. But I had rearranged that whole medicine cabinet the other day, and I didn't, by the time I was done, I really didn't want to sit and go through that last bit of organizing. I was going to get around to it and then got sick. So yeah, don't you, I mean, wouldn't that freak you out if you already had saw the dates? Some of them were like 2 of 20. One I know was in there that was December of 19 that needed to be thrown away. There might have even been a couple that were November of 19 that needed to be thrown away, but not all of them. Come on. That's just overwhelming. No, my medicine cabinet is always super organized. No. Sorry, y'all. What the heck? I don't know. I feel like I remember earlier you asked what kind of topic somebody would have. Well, I was wondering if anybody sometimes just feels displaced from the space they're in. Like almost, what is it called? There's a name for it, where you don't feel like you're connecting anymore because of the things that are happening. Starts with a D. I should know this. I'm a therapist.
Dysplasia syndrome.
Yeah, sort of like that. Do you ever feel like, like, where are we? When something that large happens, do you have a moment of feeling that way?
Yep. I do. I absolutely do. And right now, you guys, I'm having like deja vu moments again. Like, for instance, a friend of mine and a couple of friends of mine and I were like having a chat. We were talking in Hangouts, and he was discussing something. And what he brought up, he and I had discussed a year ago. He has no recollection of the exact same thing. And it's like a year old. And it seems like everything new that's happening now for me, it just seems like it's old. I mean, I feel bored with everything. I'm saying I want a new drug, but I don't mean drug. I just mean like a new rabbit hole because everything just feels so old. I've felt this way for about 2 weeks now. So is that pertaining to what you're referring to, Vivian? I mean, yeah. Anybody?
Can you repeat the last part that you said, the last sentence before you asked me?
Yeah, it's just that everything it feels so old. I mean, it feels like everything just feels like it's repeating itself. I mean, what I said was I want a new drug, but I don't mean drug. Actually, I mean like a new rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Because all the stuff that's being just spoken about just feels old. I mean, I feel like I don't know. It's like my friend. We discussed exactly what he was saying a year ago, but it was all new to him.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times on Dance Channel, where he actually, the weirdest one was the day that I called in to show that the Lion and the Lamb had actually changed again. And then a few weeks later, I brought it up again, and Dan goes, well, you never called in about it. And I know for sure I did, because Fizzy made the comment. This is the comment she made. She said, and some of the people in the audience had remembered it, but she had said, well, who else is lying down with the wolf now? Who else is dwelling with this wolf now? So for Fizzy to say that really was profound, and it stuck in my head completely. And so when I called back in, do you remember that?
Yes. And I also remember they did another stream where they talked about pirates and ships and stuff. Like she had some kind of a celebration right there at her hometown. And that was repeated. I heard them do that broadcast twice. But
do you remember though coming in another time and them not remembering it though?
I recall it seeming to be like a repeat. I was in the audience.
When you were, and some of it may be this, and I'm not saying that's happening to all of us, but there's also the fact that there's a lot of overwhelming information, and sometimes my brain, sometimes I won't remember something anymore because it's just not too important to retain anymore.
Right.
So, I'll write the MEs down I have a folder called my Mandela Effect folder. But I will tell you, if y'all don't mind, if I share one more interesting change that's happening.
Cool.
I've always had a daughter who was very against the Mandela effect. She actually moved from across the street from me, which broke my heart and tore me apart in 2018, because I'm pretty sure it had a lot to do with the fact that I believed in MEs and her husband thought I was weirdo or whatever. So they moved and everything, and then she just would have nothing of it. You know, she stifled me and was rude to me and da-da-da-da-da. And now, when the Mandela Effect movie came out, I asked her if I could, if her daughter could watch it with me. She goes, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem." And all of a sudden, she's been coming by the last few days for the first time ever. She doesn't show love the way that I would want her to show it, but she's showing it the way she shows it. So she's been coming by and helping me take my trash cans down or go get my mail for me, since I don't need to be going outside till I get over what I think is pneumonia, because my chest is in a lot of pain. But it's like I don't know who she is. And then all of a sudden, her husband, who had just terribly turned on me on New Year's Day because of 2018, because I think we were going into 19 at the time. No, let me think. No, it was 2018. We were going to 18 because of the Ford symbol. All of a sudden, he's just all like smiles at me now. Like, I'm like, who are these people? He'll come over and he's just like leaning out the car door to look at me and smile at me. And I'm like, okay, you know, okay, what the heck, you know?
Quantum changes, quantum shifting is what it is. Has to be.
I don't think that they have, you know, part of me wanted to think, well, maybe they fell into their own Mandela effects and they finally went, oops. But they're not really.
Mandela effect. You guys.
Mandela effect.
Don't be sleeping.
Mandela effect.
I'm multitasking. What are you guys doing sleeping over there?
No, hey, I don't mean to interrupt you or nothing, but
No, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you or anything, but I
I
wanted
don't
to.
mean to interrupt you or anything.
Yeah.
I don't mean to
I have
interrupt
not
you.
interrupted you at all.
But I feel like I need to interrupt you. No, go ahead.
No. Here's the thing. Now's the time. If you want to give this room a quick shout out, you can.
All right. I knew for some reason I knew you were going to say that, and I'm already on my way there.
All right, cool.
And of course, I have to re-enter the room because it decided to kick me out.
Oh, sweet.
All right. All right, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, first and foremost, there's a whole lot of preliminal in chat. Preliminal is in chat.
Preliminal.
Yes, that guy.
Preliminal. We love preliminal.
Patrick.
Yes, we do. He's an awesome artist, and he drew a picture of me, y'all. He actually drew me. Now, what I would like him to do is take the photo that he drew of me and put it together. So, because he wanted to show it on Dan's show, but Dan never showed it. So if he sent it into you, I'm sure you would show it, but I'd like him to go side by side of the photo he was trying to
Why don't you
draw of
upload
me.
it as your avatar? And not now, next time. But
You know, Patrick and I were both Mandela affected.
Mandela affected?
Mandela effect?
Mandela affected. we were both affected on February of 2016.
Okay, all right. Go
Earlier,
on.
we were able to say it at the same time, and it was so awesome.
I may have jumped the gun on the selection, so we'll let Saji continue.
Okay.
All right. And then, of course, I just popped in Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
Fontaine?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, great.
And we have
Awesome.
Tina God's Love.
God's love. That's sweet. I love it.
She's sweet.
And I think Armor's still hanging around. He just hasn't chatted recently, but I feel his presence kind of like Luke feels Ben Kenobi in the Force, you know? And that's it.
No go-kart Bob this time?
Oh,
What's
yeah,
the deal?
Go-Kart Bob. his message was retracted.
That was just rude of you. No, and you didn't say anything about any of us. We're chatting.
Right.
Do we not count?
Lucy.
I'm just giving him a hard time.
I was going to say also, Sandy, you
Lucy,
mentioned,
you've got some explaining to do.
That's one of my dogs.
Can you imagine how much better that would have been if Armor had done it? I'm just saying.
that's his thing, you know. That's Armor's. That's the best thing he's good at, you know.
Right.
Well, it's not the best thing that he's good at, but
Well,
he does
no.
definitely have some skills with it. He's got some mad skills with
Right.
Yeah, he's
You know,
That's
I've
his
never
forte.
live streamed. I've never live streamed with God's Armor, and I've always wanted to. Yeah,
Oh, you love it.
yeah.
Well, maybe we can have you on a Shifty Sunday sometime.
I love his mind. I love the way his mind works, and I love how he discusses the Bible and stuff. I really do.
He's a
well.
sweetie.
I have to admit that you're not going to get a lot of people disagreeing with you around here.
Hey, it looks like Exo Silly just popped in as well.
Cool.
Thanks for being here, Exo.
All right, so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to read this article real quick.
Wait. Before you do that, I just wanted to explain to everybody about our workout routine. Now, you had mentioned some of it earlier, but what you got to do is you got to drink 6 raw eggs, and then you got to have a medium rare steak. You eat that, and then you drink 6 cups of coffee, and then after that, you lay down and take a nap because you're going to be pretty full after that. So, just saying. But then when you wake up from that nap, then you start your exercises.
Well,
And
you
then
take away the steak and you insert cookies, and you take away the coffee and you insert ice cream. That would be more like, you guys want to see that avatar?
Did I hear cookies? Yum.
I was going to
Yeah.
do
Oh
Chris
no, I
Farley.
didn't even get any cake for my birthday because I had it planned where I was going to cook my own cake, and so I did nothing on my birthday but just lay on a recliner with fever. So I want cookies and cake. I want to make a healthy carrot cake. Yeah.
Speaking
Happy
of
late birthday. Sorry. Happy late birthday.
I talked to Hebrew the other day when I made some carrot cake, and Hebrew told me what kind of carrot cake he really likes. You guys want to hear it?
Go ahead.
Tell us about the
What is
carrot
it?
cake that your favorite carrot cake, Hebrew. I thought that was classic.
Oh wait, what was it again? Was it
It's when they bake any kind of cake and they just put a little icon of a carrot at the top in the middle.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I think the frosting on it.
Yeah, frosted
Yeah.
carrot look-alike.
Yeah. It doesn't have to
There you go. You got carrot cake.
Only men would say that. Oh.
I have to mute every time I start coughing, so just so everybody in the audience knows I'm not smoking or doing
Wait a
anything that causes this.
click the
So-
link, Jay. If you just click the link I sent you, you'll be in here. You have it. Just click the link.
I'll be right back.
All right, so
I sent you a message in Facebook, by the way. It's in your Facebook Messenger. Okay, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
no, basically, everybody here probably already knows, but February 25th actually marked the 30-year anniversary, or will mark the 30-year anniversary this coming February 25th here in just today actually is the day that Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. And former Vice President Joe Biden, in remarks in Columbia, South Carolina, on February the 11th, quote unquote, or quote, after Mandela got free and became president, he came to Washington and came to my office. He threw his arms around me and said, "I want to thank you." I said, "What are you thanking me for, Mr. President?" He said, "You tried to see me. You got arrested trying to see me." This is what Biden remarks in Las Vegas on February the 16th. That's what he says. And apparently, Joe Biden has this distinct memory of trying to visit Nelson Mandela when he's in prison. And I don't know. I mean, I have mixed observations on this whole thing. I don't know the story that well, but if all the people to say that they all of a sudden remember visiting him in jail, but there's no actual documented proof, any recorded documentation that proves that he actually did it. But I mean, if a person goes to jail, they pretty much have a distinct memory of that. I don't care, what the reasons are for. You will remember that you went. You won't falsely remember going to jail, is what I'm trying to get at. So, with all that being said, what do you think the odds are of Mr. Biden's having them, quote unquote, Mandela effect? Go ahead.
Mandela effect.
Mandela
Yeah.
Mandela effect. What?
Or do you just think that he's just an old? I mean, he's also a great example of an old guy who's known for like saying he's in Las Vegas when he's in Washington, or California when he's in Kalamazoo. So, I mean, is this guy? Do we want this guy as a Mandela effect person? I mean, thoughts, guys. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on this. A Mandela effect.
Hey, Connie.
Hey,
I mean, thoughts, guys. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on
Connie, you might have to turn your YouTube down.
Hey, Connie.
We're getting
hey.
you're getting an echo.
Connie, you have to turn your TV off.
I'm trying to.
It's like we're on
Has to go
infinite
all the
loop.
way
Feedback.
down.
Have you ever had a moment
Oh, I
where
have
you
to
felt
turn
like
my
that
TV
moment
off?
just
Okay.
happened before and then it happened again? Oh, wait, no, that just happened.
You mean it just happened just
Okay,
now?
how's that?
Much better.
That's better.
No,
I
you
can
can
still hear
it.
somebody in the
You gotta
background.
turn it off, honey. Turn it
You gotta
off.
turn it off.
Turn it off all the way.
Is there an echo in here? Echo.
Yeah, because she has it on.
I'm
Connie, turn
trying
it
to.
off,
Hold
honey.
on.
Okay.
Echo.
1 second.
Now we can hear you telling her to turn it off.
Oh, that's great, guys.
This has been a weird night, y'all.
Well, it is ladies' night. Welcome, by the way, Connie.
Oh, here we go. Sorry I was late, guys, but our rehearsal went way late, but it was so good. And we're gonna get to do some things for advertisement for our show. We're gonna flash mob one of the main stores. I don't know which one, whether it's Walmart or what, singing songs and costuming. And I got fitted for 2 of my costumes tonight, and they fit perfect. And because I'm playing two characters, I'm playing a second class passenger and a first class passenger, and my first class passenger is the one that speaks. But anyway, so, and we're also going to be doing some singing around town at stuff like Flash Mob, and
Honey.
that'll be a lot of fun. So,
Hi, Connie Joe. Good to see you.
good to see you, honey.
Nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, nice to meet you. You know what? I'm the only one that's live. Everybody else has. I don't know how to put my icon on here.
Avatar.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, when you're at the
corrected.
well, if you want to switch, the only way to do it is when you about the black button you click right before you enter the room is where you can load an avatar if you want to go back out and come back in.
Yeah,
Or
let me
you can
do
just
that.
stay live
I
if you
I
want.
look like crap tonight, so let me do that.
Well, can't you at the bottom of the screen just click start and stop camera as well, guys?
I don't know if it will work that way or not.
Camera. I think you can go where you can switch camera off.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you can just hit the video button and turn off your camera if you
Yeah.
don't care which avatar.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm still here.
Yay.
Sag, what are you gonna say?
I just turned off my avatar.
Okay.
Well, that works fine too. And yeah, I forget what else I was going to say.
Oh, no, wait,
Yeah.
well,
I'm not gonna start that again.
he rose quick. Sagi's lagging behind.
Yeah.
It's the opposite night. Great.
But I don't know how much of you guys heard a little about my rant about Joe Biden and him remembering visiting in jail. But does anybody have any thoughts on that? Do you guys think that will help or hurt the Mandela community? Is it a psyop? Is it just old Joe being old Joe, having a hard time knowing what's going on?
I think he's just old pervy Joe.
I don't know what he said, so I can't. I don't have a dog in this fight.
Well, apparently it's recently came out in the news that he's mentioned more than one occasion that he remembers going to prison when he tried to visit Nelson Mandela in jail back when he was, actually creating the quote unquote Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
However, there's no
doesn't
documentation
even
or
make
anything to
sense.
prove that he did visit him in jail or got arrested and ended up going to jail himself.
Yeah, but try and tell him that he didn't have that experience.
Does he have Alzheimer's?
Well, yeah, but it's just getting thrown in prison is not something you typically misremember. Like, just in my general opinion, I don't think that's something I would get wrong, me spending time in jail. You know what I mean?
You never know. Some
Yeah.
things you just want to forget.
But I thought it made for interesting news, especially with them bringing, mixing the Mandela effect up in the name, in mainstream
Mandela effect.
national news, and it being related to, of all people, creepy old Joe Biden. It seems like there could be an agenda there, but then again, maybe it's just him being an old man, not sure what's going on.
Well, they used to call him Creepy Joe, but now they just call him Batman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, never mind. That's a reference from that movie.
Batman?
Well, no. You remember that movie in the 80s of I want to say Morgan Freeman. It was like one of his first movies. Trying to think here, where he's a school principal, and they call him, and his nickname was Crazy Joe, and then he grabbed a bat and swung it at some students or something like that, and then he said, "I used to be crazy."
Oh, yeah, when he was the principal trying to get all the people in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, I forgot that. For you to make that reference, though, it was clever.
Well, I try. Just saying.
All right, so anyway, this is Ladies' Night. We definitely got a packed showcase of ladies here now that we've got Connie Jo Wood, and we have Michelle's Opinion, a.k.a. Awake and Activate, and Vivian Truth Sets You Free, and HoneyAnn. I mean, what more could you get? I mean, for a ladies' night out, I mean, this is the epitome of epitomes. Wouldn't you say there, Mr. Captain He Roaster?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think something's going on with me. I think oh man, I'm changing. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'd like to address something if I possibly can, guys.
I got my sexy 80s mustache going on here.
What happened to Saj?
Hebrew.
I think he's doing something. He'll be right back.
I'm going to wait because I've got something to share with y'all about
Okay.
something going on in the Mandela community, but I'll wait till
Mandela community.
Man,
I didn't say Mandela effect.
no, it's effect.
Oh, okay.
What?
Mandela effect.
Hebrew.
Mandela effect.
I'd like to.
Mandela
No, we
effect.
shifted Saturday.
Do what now?
I just said I'd like to address something going on if I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. It's your show.
In the chat, Michael Fontaine made a comment. And he said propaganda. And I said, you know, in Mexico, they have propaganda written on their trash receptacles, you know, which basically means what's propaganda? It equals trash, you know, in Mexico. And Patrick said, go take your lies and farm to the farmy backwoods. Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Let's not go political at all because, you know, people, you know, can really get upset and hurt by other people's comments, even if it's satire. So I'm dealing with something that we've got going on in the chat with somebody that I care about very dearly. And I just, you know, really think that it's best just not to, you know, step on anybody's toes in that kind of regard, especially since really, how much do we really know? We don't live their lives. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what their day to day. We haven't walked a mile in their shoes. So we should reserve our own opinions on that, you know, where we could offend other people to ourselves. But this
Thank
is
you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. That's awesome for you to put that out there because everybody's going to be a mix in here.
Politics
None of us
is always a hard
are
thing
going to be the same.
Yeah.
Well,
politics is always a hard thing to discuss. I wasn't
think-
intending to offend anybody, so forgive me.
Well,
I think Connie was mentioning something just a second ago, and I don't know if y'all could hear her, but she said that she felt like we shifted this weekend. Well, it was true, Connie, because we had a 6-hour outage of the Schumann resonance over the weekend.
Wow.
That meant every drop of Earth energy stopped again for 6 hours.
Well, let me tell you something. You know, I don't know who was on Dan's channel Saturday night and heard me talk about what happened when I went to Carrollton, Texas. Was to Asian town in Carrollton, Texas, with her on Saturday. We stopped at the H Mart, and which is a humongous Asian supermarket. It's like a Walmart. Okay, but it's nothing but food and Asian food. You know, it's all Asian stuff. So we'd stopped. My daughter got out of the car. The people stopped next to us. 4 people got out of the car. I looked up and I saw them all get out, shut the door, and walk off. I reached down to get my purse and I put something in it. Didn't take very long, maybe a minute or two. I looked back up and they were getting out of the car again and walking off. Just like a repeat, a rerun.
I heard you say that on the show. Well,
what?
I said I definitely heard you say that on the show, on Dan's show.
And then Saturday night, I was sitting here and I felt like my body was going to explode. My mind, it felt like I was going to lose my mind, and I had to start praying to because I thought I was going to go crazy. And finally, I just went to sleep. And then when I woke up, I was fine in the morning. But I just felt like it just felt like everything in my body was going to explode. And I know something happened because that just doesn't happen. You don't see reruns in real life. That doesn't happen. And one more thing. All the time that our show is supposed to be opening April the 11th, when all the documents, I've looked at it 1,000 times, we've talked about it, everything, and I get to a rehearsal on Monday night and it's changed to April the 3rd, and they tell me it's always been April the 3rd. No, it hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it just went from last Thursday night being April the April the 5th or 11th to April the 3rd, and nobody noticed any difference.
Wait, I'm confused. Connie, are you talking about the time change back is going to be now April 3rd instead of the 4th?
No, the date.
No, the date. Oh, okay. All of my documents for my play I'm going to be in, and they talked about it was supposed to have opening day on April the 11th.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then from Thursday, when we all talked about it being April 11th, to Monday, it changed to April the 3rd, and all the documents changed, even mine at home. And nobody else seems in the plane to think that it was ever April the 11th.
Because when you said time change, that's what confused me. But see, and that's exactly the vid. Did you see the video before coming in that happened about the medication? It's the same thing. That huge shift happened. All of the earth stopped having energy for 6 straight hours. I'm telling you, and those aches and pains that you're feeling is because you're very in tune, extremely in tune. All of us who are very energy light worker people, we are extremely in tune with our bodies going through ails and stuff from the earth's pulls. I'm sure that Michelle understands a lot about this, and I don't know if HoneyAnn has done any research into the Schumann resonance, but it's definitely where our earth's energy is just coming to a stop.
Right.
Where did you find that information out? I'd like to read it.
Well, you need to go online and look up the Schumann calendar, or it's like a graph, and you can watch it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's just a detection of energy. I'll try to talk to you about it later, Connie, and
Okay.
get you set up with some information on how to follow it. But it's basically called that when the man who found Schumann found this, that the earth actually omitted an energy, just like you would see on a heart monitor. And then this heart monitor just goes blank for little pieces at a time. But we had, even during New Year's of this year, we had like 24-hour blackouts, 17-hour blackouts. This last one was 6 hours, but it hit us hard because we were spiking real well the week before, but we weren't spiking super high either. We had like a little calm. And then all of a sudden we had the storm again. So if you follow your energy from, not trying to ramble, but let me just say this last part. If you follow your energy from the time that we start to spike, if we start spiking, you'll notice bad behavior or whatever. When it stops spiking, but it's balanced, we all tend to be feeling really well, less arguing, less this, less that, less pains in the body, less tiredness. But then if you go to down where there's nothing, that blackout says, how could we all just black out like that? Was that Tom Selleck and Burt Reynolds? Oh, I love Tom Selleck. I'm sorry. I was looking at Tom Selleck is Heroes. Tom Selleck, who's my favorite actor when I was growing up. Although I was too young for him, I was only like 13 when I liked him. And then Burt Reynolds was always one of my favorite actors too. God, that tells you my age, right?
Oh, y'all are all babies.
Right. I'm older now. I just had a birthday on Sunday, huh?
You know, the Schumann resonance, that actually,
never catch
that
up
will
with me.
affect us, you know?
What'd you say, honey?
The Schumann resonance actually affects, the way our actions and things.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, when
headaches.
Yes.
Headaches, aches, pains. And those of us who are sensitive, like I can tell you're just like Michelle in the sense that you both are really sensitive people to energy and stuff. Yeah.
That's your love. It's what.
Yeah.
Are you kissing your dog? Because we're all listening to you do it.
Oh,
heard a
I'm
kitty
sorry.
cat.
No, I'm
Sound
loving
like
my
a cat
kitty.
purring. I heard kind of
I
like a
didn't
cat
know if it was a dog or a cat.
purring.
She has a beautiful dog named
Precious.
Ellaby. She has a beautiful lab dog named Ellaby. It's adorable. So.
No, this is CB, the boy cat.
Oh, the boy kitty.
Oh man,
Oh.
shouldn't have.
I have a Chihuahua named TikTok, and I have a little weenie dog named Lucy. And I have a bunch of cats. Yeah.
So, did
Okay.
anybody else feel anything this weekend besides me?
No, but
Absolutely. Absolutely.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have something. I do have something that I think I might have brought it up last month, but I had something weird happen to me last month that was kind of a personal Mandela effect. I have been thinking for
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela. Echo.
I no, but I could have always sworn, and I probably solved the problem myself by checking it. I could have always sworn that Martin Luther King's birthday was in February, and that's why we did Black History Month. But as I found out, I did some research on it, and it turns out that that's when Malcolm X was killed, was in February, on that date that we celebrate Black History Month. But I could have always sworn it was because that was Martin Luther King's birthday, and I didn't realize Martin Luther King's birthday was in January.
Wow.
No. I was thinking more like March.
Yeah, I have a memory of
I'm born-
February.
So I have the memory of either late February or March because my birthday's in February, so I would know this.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I thought it was February 19th, the day after my brother's birthday. Seriously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just blown away.
Yeah, Hebrew and I actually spent like a good half hour looking into all that when he first experienced it because he was so thrown off by it. He was about to make a video about it, but then once we realized it was Malcolm X's the date, of his assassination, he held off. But it was a very, I can see, how that could be the case. So it's really crazy.
So can I share something really quick here for a minute?
Yeah.
I'm on my Facebook page and I came across Brian's latest post, Brian Stavely, and he has on here that there's these people that are doing this video out called The 7 Reasons You Can't Remember, and they have the Monopoly Man there and what the Mandela effect really is. So they're kind of debunking it. So I just basically wrote and told him, they're going to do their own thing, let them do it. It's just like if you have religion and you try to drag somebody to believe your way, that you're not going to do it. There's always going to be an opposition in this life, but he said, go leave a lengthy message on their channel. It's 12 minutes long, but it's called 7 Reasons, The 7 Reasons You Can't Remember This. And then it's what the Mandela effect actually is. It has like those 2 little dots. And so they're actually going to try to tell us 7 reasons that our brains are not right. And that all those boxes y'all saw with the medication, they should have all just been marked the way they were, right? No. I know better because I don't even fill them all at the same time. So no, that's weird. So I thought if y'all want to look that up on YouTube later, maybe even make a comment under it. But I just don't think to get too worried about what other people believe, because what really matters is what's in our own hearts.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you. It seems like more and more lately, people are trying to make videos debunking the Mandela effect. I think that most of the videos that people make,
Effect.
yeah, Mandela effect. I think I think most of that is people just trying to come up with people who ran out of content and don't necessarily and are just looking for some type of new thing to do to get ratings up and find something to say, because I don't see how you can actually come up to how you can wake up one day and come to a conclusion that I'm going to be the guy that personally debunks a phenomenon that thousands of people are experiencing. I'll be able to come up with the best argument for misremembering than anybody else has came up with. Not that, the people who experience them in the, what I'm going to say, haven't already haven't already came to those logical conclusions themselves. Like we're all just a bunch of idiots who who just don't understand what misremembering is, and we don't understand how illogical it may seem. Yet when you're still forced to come to a conclusion that something isn't the way you know for a fact that it actually was, and it tells you all the way deep down in your gut that it was a different way, and then and then you find I don't know, up to 1,000 people who agree with you on that specific thing being that specific way. I don't know. It just seems to me like this is going to be the new thing going forward. We're going to start having more mainstream media coverage where we get to where we're going to be made to look like some kind of cult or fanatical fringe, new fanatical fringe conspiracy thing that the state to keep your kids away from these Mandela people, and it just really does seem like this year we're going to get a lot of that opposition. We're going to try to be basically made to look. We're going to try to be made to look as some type of negative light as a bad thing, and I'm seeing cult references a lot. What do you ladies think about our community? Does it in any way, shape, or form resemble a cult? I'm curious.
Before they answer that, real quick though,
I didn't understand the question though because I couldn't hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry, but real quick, I do want to say, I had something I was gonna add to what Saji was saying. Oh, yeah, going back to what you were talking about way back when you were talking about the people who try to disprove the Mandela effect. One of the goofiest jackassy videos I ever seen on YouTube is some guy. He was trying to explain away the Mandela effect, and I think you might have been the one that brought this up, Saji. But he was trying to say, "Well, look, I went and I looked it up."
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Don't lose track, Hero. Don't lose track. Stay with your thought. Man.
I'm gonna lose. Yeah, I'll lose my thought.
Stay with your thought.
I blanked you.
He was trying to explain away. He was like,
My
"Well,
powers don't work."
huh?" Oh, see, now you've done messed me up. Now I can't.
Oh, I did. My powers do work. Okay, cool. Okay, go on. Whatever. Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Now I said it.
Mandela
effect.
Oh, what?
Hebrew, hold on to your thought, hon. We need you to finish it.
Yes.
But what he was basically doing, he said, "Oh, now look," and he went back, and he said, "See, it was that way in 19 whatever. It had never changed." And I'm sitting here thinking, what a stupid jackass this guy must be. How dumb can you get when you can't look back and say, "Well, yeah, it's changed. That means it's changed then, now, and forever." It's not that it's never been that way. It's always been that way. It's a change that changes back in time too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, do you remember that video, Saji?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I mentioned this on a show about a week or two ago. A lot of times we get caught up in using the word "it changed." Especially with the Mandela effects that flip flop. But let's just take those out of the equation for a minute, because I think those are a whole separate entity on themselves, because they're select few.
What was your question you were going to ask us earlier, Kat?
But I'm not sure, but basically, I don't know so much as the things are changing as it's just they're now different. But the question I was trying to ask you before is, we get accused a lot of times of being kind of like a cult, and I get it. I get that there are people in our community who are very obsessed about the Mandela effect, who make it their from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed, that's all they eat, sleep, and breathe is Mandela effect. But there's also people who just experience it. They go out and they live normal lives. I would say the majority of us just are functioning, fine, normal adults who have families, get up, go to work, school, church, or whatever, and are productive citizens of society. But we still can acknowledge and recognize this Mandela effect as being a true phenomenon. Do you think there's any? How do you think we? Why do you think we keep? I keep seeing this thing cult. We're like a cult. Yeah.
Your question just disappeared.
I keep getting this thing that says people accusing us of being like a cult or cultish or having a cult-like mentality. Do you guys? Do you see this? How do you think people come up with this notion that we're some kind of cult?
I got an idea. I got an answer to that I've been holding my tongue because I kind of thought that's what you were going to ask earlier. But what I think has happened, like even with people who are really into it a lot at first, it's almost like a person. No, are you kidding me?
You're back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Okay, so it's almost like, when a person first comes to Christ, before they grow within it, they're just running out and knocking on people's doors and trying to shove God down everybody's throat, Well, it's the same thing when a person gets the Mandela effect in them. They may be a little overboard. What?
Mandela effect.
Mandela
effect. But they may be a little bit overboard in the ME. And that is normal up front, but then we go through a spiritual growth where we move forward and it no longer matters what others believe. It no matter matters. So even those people that may be calling us a cult, they themselves, are not grown in their own spiritual path, because regardless, and even what I think Hebrew was talking about earlier, that somebody was talking about that, nothing's changed, something didn't change. Well, think about it. Maybe for that person, these people, maybe it never did. And maybe we are in a timeline where there are more timelines than one that are these dimensions that are just crisscrossing over each other so quickly, almost glitching out. And people who do believe that, that they never in their whole lives ever saw the thinker with his hand on his head, that it was always a knuckle sandwich, and so things like that can be possibly what's causing them to react that way. I do remember the first time I told my daughter about a Mandela effect that affected her, and it was the Sinbad show, and she got so upset when I told her. She started looking at her phone. She goes, and I told her, you're not going to find it online. It doesn't exist anymore, never did. And she goes, I never want to talk about this again. And from that point on, she kind of made that shifty eye look we all know. You know what I'm talking about. And then it was for a long time now. Now, once in a while, I'll throw a little Mandela effect at her, but it's not as tragic no more. So she's kind of not necessarily accepting it, which I don't care either way anymore, because I've spiritually grown to where I'm going with it. Does that make any sense, y'all?
Yeah.
Did I lose my train of thought?
No, it's like a signpost. It's something we're supposed to experience, get used to, and move on and grow.
Absolutely.
And anytime we get stuck, we can get ourselves stuck for as long as we need to be at that place until we're ready to move on to bigger and better things. As long as you've got your heart and your mind, your whole being, you're holding Christ in friendship, and he's showing you the way, the truth written in our heart. I don't really talk about my faith on my channel because I don't want to lead people to think that that's what my channel is. It's not a religious-based channel. It's about experiences and what I get out of the experiences, and then some things that I look into, and then I share my research with other people, whether they can glean from it or, take from it what they want, or, move on. It's okay. It's all okay. But
Well,
my
Michelle,
oldest is so in there.
that falls into the concept of being the action of love to the people who are following you versus expecting them to come along with your beliefs. So
Yeah,
in essence,
I
your
know
love through that channel will help people grow without forcing anything either way.
right. I don't want to force, because I'm going to tell you from the different people that I've had on, each are so unique and so beautiful, and they're all growing in leaps and bounds with the gifts and everything that is at our disposal and becoming aware. I mean, who am I to say that my way is the right way? My way is unique to me, for what I needed, because I walk in my shoes. I self-evaluate. And that's where it starts. It starts with that.
Well,
And then,
thank you, Michelle. I'll take that as a compliment.
yeah, it really, well, you already know, where I come from. And I'm pretty sure that or Wayne and Jeremy, Hebrew and Saji, well, just guess who's who. Anyways, no, because I've spent some time with them too. I'm not going to pressure, because even in the good book, it says, who's the accuser of the brethren that's accusing them in front of the throne night and day? It tells us who's the accuser. And if somebody's pointing their finger at you and telling you that they're doing it, you're doing it wrong, you're going to go to hell, that's an accusation.
Exactly.
And then when
And it's not going to bring you any closer to God. No way. Especially one of the things that I've learned being a therapist throughout the years and the types of therapy that I don't do it like a regular one, but one of the things I've learned is when you have somebody who say has really seriously wounded, you even have to be careful using any type of gender when mentioning a God. You have to be, because you don't want that person not to receive the gifts of love that they could have by putting to a person who say was sexually abused by their father. And then, so some people like Armor Up said, he says he chooses to call God Father, but that does not mean, the other night on the show, he said that other people have to choose to do it that way. And I really liked listening to what he had to say the other night. I don't remember what night it was. It was, Shifty Sunday. It was a good show to go back and listen to. But yeah, I mean, one last thing. My book that I worked till 5:00 this morning on my book. I did not realize I stayed up like all night long. It was crazy, especially with, being sick, but it was, I realized my book is really going to kind of either cause people that want to choose to judge, it's going to cause that judgment. But at the same time, it is something that my belief in God says for me to get out there and put out. So it's my path, but it is a book about releasing guilt from religious teachings of God. That's what I'm writing, is a book that gives people the concept of love and really gets down to what judgment actually does to the person themselves that's doing the judging. So it's good. It's good. I'm really excited about it, y'all.
Well,
I can't wait till you finish that book. But let me finish what I was going to say, and then
Sorry, Michelle.
Oh, you're fine. I think the only person that I have any right to judge is myself. And I also look at other people and I say, would I want that done to me?
Right.
If I don't want that done to me, why would I impose it onto somebody else? And that helps us value each other as brothers and sisters, and not try and one up each other, and not try to oppress one another, and be generous, kind, gentle souls. If somebody needs somebody to listen to them, then you be the ear to listen to them. If somebody needs
Absolutely.
for comfort and to have conversation, then you be that for them the best that you can, because we all need each other. It's just all this division. And then there's a lot of it. There's so much of it in the world that keeps us so far apart from each other. If that division, if we could bridge those gaps and realize the unconditional love and forgiveness, and what a blessing it is once you pass that threshold, that stuff's still going to happen, but you're not going to react the same way. That's why it's go in a circle, but as we go through the circle, we react differently to the situations as we go around and around. And sometimes people get frustrated because they're like, I've already been through something like this. This is absolutely horrible. I can't do this again. But you're actually at a higher vantage point because you've got the wisdom, because you've been through it before. And it's either you learned the wisdom or you're going through it and you're taking the wisdom that you acquired from having that experience with you and handling it in a different and better way that will help our brothers and sisters. We're to be like Christ. We're not to be, accusing each other or slandering each other and hurting one another. I don't want people doing that to me. And I don't want to do that to other people. It's just
Absolutely. And it's not everybody gets it, but eventually they will. But you sure got it, honey. You've got my thoughts. It's really weird when I listen to you because I feel like I'm not alone in how I believe. And I think, well, because you found me in the middle of judgment and you kind of pulled me out of it one night, remember? And in that pulling out of me pulling me out of the judge thing that was happening to me, once I started talking to you, I realized, no, it's okay that I believe like this, that we should love each other and focus on that. And so that was, it's been such a blessing meeting you. And yeah, I'm sure we'll talk again personally sometime, but yeah, you definitely got the understanding, and it's just nobody can get there till they get there. Does that make sense?
Where I'm looking at the chat, Preliminal says, when the line gets drawn, where is the line that's not acceptable? You have your own rights and sovereignty, and you set your own boundaries. Just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean you need to do it too. You can set your own boundaries and say, I'm not going to partake in that, and walk away.
Is somebody typing or something?
I don't. I hear crackling.
I think Connie. It's coming from Connie's speaker. Connie.
It's coming from my speaker?
Yes. Are you? I can tell because your thing keeps lighting up to the sounds of these clicks. Are you sending a text or something?
No, I was just looking at the main chat because I finally figured out how to do it. I kept trying to knocking myself off.
Well, don't knock yourself off anymore. Stop that. I love your picture, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I took that about a month ago, I think, or somewhere. No, maybe it was. What was it, Vivian? Maybe it was 2 months ago.
Beautiful.
I don't know. I thought this was a new one. This doesn't look like the other one. This one, I saw this one and thought, wow, that's a new one. So that. Maybe
well,
that's
I guess
right.
It's about a month ago. Yeah.
I don't know what all that clicking is. I don't know. Okay, stop now.
And your ADD is probably driving.
It's going off the charts, girl, and I'm doing really well with it. That's why, when I would make noise, I was trying to put myself on, muting myself so y'all wouldn't hear me. I'm finally done working my bills, so I feel so much better when I do my bills and I know where I'm at for the next month.
And now my hubby's gone to work, so I'm actually able to participate more. But I'm sorry,
awesome.
I know you had something that you wanted to say. So
I'm sorry, real quick though. Speaking of husbands going to work, I think HoneyAnn has left us momentarily. So we just want to say goodnight to her real quick. I just wanted to say that I know she's listening. And
love you, HoneyAnn, and come back quick. Hurry. Well, actually, it's not a hurry because Hebrew can go on and then it's just like what we were talking about earlier with time. It's like whoop, The time is like gone by really super fast.
Oh yeah, I can go all night long. Anyway, sorry.
Oh,
I live in such a state of solitude that I believe that sounds become almost extraterrestrial to me, and there's times when I have to like do deep breathing. Yeah,
Extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial. There is actually
terrestrial, extra. Like, is there more terrestrial?
So like,
I don't know, but
you hear a squirrel out in the garage or out on your garage, outside your garage, and that's a close encounter of the second kind. But if you actually interact with the squirrel, that's a close encounter of the third kind, right?
Right. You know that there is actually a physical thing called misophonia. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of it, but people who, like if somebody cannot stand the sound of somebody clicking their fingernail or...
What are you trying to tell us?
Or,
like the fingernails across the keyboard or the chalkboard thing?
Right, but more like you were sitting across the table from somebody and they were like chewing their food and they just were chewing it and making sounds with it and stuff. A person with misophonia can actually become very angry if the sound doesn't stop. That would be me. But now that I realize it's actually true, that it's not just me going through this, I've learned to where if somebody's doing something like constant movement in front of me and I just really need it to stop, I will turn to them now and say, could you please stop that? But one of the things that I've noticed is that people don't respond too well to even being asked nicely stuff nowadays.
I know that feeling.
They'd rather me yell at them. They'd rather me get to the point where I'm like, would you please freaking stop?
I got to tell you real quick.
Yeah.
While you're on the subject, my wife has the same thing. If I'm eating in front of her or if I'm like making any kind of eating noise or any kind of noise like that, it's real. Agitated. And yeah.
Have you looked it up, Pedro? Have you looked it up?
I haven't looked it up, but she has told me about it. Like it's a real thing. I used to get agitated when she'd say, "Can you please stop doing that in front of me?" And I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like,
and you know what? I got a tip for you. I got a tip for you on this. This is good because this is great.
She gives me tips
because. Well,
can I interject real quick? I just gotta say this one thing real fast. I used to experience this a lot because I had a stepbrother when I was younger, and whenever we ate cereal, he would hum while he would eat his cereal, and this is first thing in the morning, and we're trying to hurry up and eat our cereal and catch the bus, and he's eating his cereal, and it's just driving me crazy that he's humming while he's eating the cereal. I've already tried the other days. I've tried, golly, will you please stop? You're driving me crazy with this humming while you eat your cereal. You're eating it like you're a dog who's never ate anything before. It's like milk's dripping all over the table and the bowl, and he's just like holding the bowl up to his chin and shoveling it in there. So finally, I just slammed both of my hands on the table, like bam, and I go, please, will you just stop humming while you eat the cereal? And I'm looking at him straight in the eye, and I reach over and I grab the spoon and I fling it across the room. And I said, the next time you start humming while you're eating the cereal, I'm taking the bowl too. And ever since then, he never did it again, and I can't imagine why.
You probably scared him to death, but you know what? You probably scared him to death, but that's good because here's the deal.
Wait. Scaring her to death is good. I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, no, scaring the person to death to make them stop the humming because it could have been worse because the person who has misophonia to a sound could what?
Speaking of sound.
Speaking of your speaker acted up again.
No, what about now?
Still doing it.
Damn it! I'll be back.
Oh, that's funny.
Guys, I hate to say this, but I'm fading.
Huh?
I'm fading. I didn't get my 5 hours sleep last night. I
Oh,
think I'm gonna have to
Oh, let's
call it a
okay.
night.
give her
But
the
you
rest
guys are
well,
having a
Connie.
good time, and I've enjoyed listening to you. So,
Rest
Well,
well,
thanks for
sister.
being on.
well, I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer, but I've been burning the candle at both ends lately, and I
Oh,
think I'm just worn myself plumb out.
Yeah.
Do you have any
But
party?
invite me again, and maybe I'll come stay longer and have more to say.
You have anything to part with? Anything to say to add before you leave?
Well, I will tell you a strange dream I had.
Nice.
You know, I don't know if any of you have seen my videos, and I talk about my psychic dreams. And sometimes they're not necessarily psychic, but meaningful dreams. And I've had several psychics tell me that I drowned in my last life, and I say, okay, whatever, you know. And so we're doing this movie, the Titanic. I mean, not movie. This play called the Titanic, and all the cast members just took to each other right away, like we were kindred spirits. And then I had this dream, and in my dream, all the people who did this play, the Titanic, across America, were reincarnated spirits that needed healing, that drowned on the Titanic. That I dreamt that. Of course, it was probably just symbolic of some sort, you know, maybe because my brain was trying to rationalize it or whatever. But I just think it's weird that I've had psychics tell me that I drowned in my last life, several different ones actually.
Hmm.
And then I'm playing on the Titanic, and let me tell you, I get real emotional in some of these scenes because I don't know why. I don't know why I shouldn't. It's just
Well,
a
if you're
play.
playing the part of Rose, I mean, Rose didn't drown. You know, just
No,
saying.
I'm not playing. They don't have Rose on this one. These are different characters.
Okay. No, I know.
They do have some of the same characters, but they don't have Leonardo DiCaprio in that one. You know, there
Oh,
was 2,000 people on this ship. They are playing real characters,
all right.
but they're the other characters that weren't on the movie, except for the captain and the fleet and the all of that. They're the same characters, but as far as the passengers, they concentrated on different ones besides the ones in the movie.
That's
So,
great. That sounds so
so
interesting.
but isn't that strange that I dreamt that? I don't know what made me dream that. It was probably just a dream. Y'all, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sure
I'm
it wasn't, Connie. I don't believe in just a dream. I'm sorry.
And you know what? Now that you bring that up, I mean, that's an interesting viewpoint, and I could see how you could actually have that feeling or that intuition. I mean, because you are in a way you are conjuring up their memory and their life force in general and remembrance every time somebody reenacts that whole thing by doing it, even if they're doing it in a little local play, it still has significance and meaning, especially to the people playing the roles and the people who come to watch the show. So I find that intriguing, but keep going.
Well, anyway, so there's a bunch of us in there that we get tear up. We get real emotional at some parts of these scenes because it was very sad. It's funny too, but it's just odd that I dreamt that, and not all my
Get
dreams
out,
are
get out.
psychic dreams, but this was this was just one of those that I remembered. And I thought, what in the world, Um, okay, well, I've enjoyed. Thank you, Hebrew, for having me on, and thank you, panel, for
Hey,
chatting with me,
Connie.
and thank you, everybody in the chat room. I don't have you pulled up, so I haven't seen your comments, but I love you very much, and thank you for listening. And I'm going to say goodnight because the Sandman calleth.
I'm gonna get your
God
channel.
bless you, Connie. Good night.
Good
All right,
night.
good night.
Sadie, and I also want HoneyAnn. So
All right. Cool.
Do you,
Well, you
okay,
guys, can I ask a question? Have y'all heard that the Titanic, right, when it sunk, that it was basically sunk on purpose, like for insurance purposes, just like kind of like how they did the Twin Towers. Have you ever heard that?
I heard that they had all the rich people on there, and they were trying to kill all of the competition.
Oh,
Is what I heard. Yeah.
well, I just recall some odd years ago seeing a few videos, that were put out there that were saying
Like
it was
JP Morgan.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the Titanic twin, the first one that was made that was falling apart, and they called it the Titanic because it was insured for more because it was a brand new ship. But the Titanic actually never sunk. That's the one that I heard.
Okay.
And you know what's so funny is like the conspiracy theorist in me. Whenever I hear something new like that, I want to go find out more about it. Not because I already believe it and I think it's true. It's just that you find so many times in life throughout as growing up and as you awaken and you realize that there are things out there that we've constantly been told one way and it's the opposite. So my mind automatically just wants to know, like, well, how much legitimately is there to it? I mean, going in, I go in with a lot of skepticism to anything like that, but you can't help but, once you get to a certain level, when you open your mind to a certain degree, you hear anything like that, you want to know more about it. You at least want to know the gist of the argument and then the gist of the what's against it, because somewhere in the middle of all that is usually the truth,
Truth, yep.
And maybe the reason some people don't actually jump right in and try to, like, how we're more inquiring type minds. We want to know what we're here for, what, is going on. There's people that don't ask that, and maybe they're coming in from a different soul energy. Like they're not necessarily in the same, say, classrooms, like new souls and older souls. But, I hate leaving something undone. So I'd like to just say in closing on the misophonia talk, please, because I held my tongue and I want to just tell him a tip on misophonia. Okay. So a person who has misophonia, who even say Sagittariusly speaking has a little bit of it with certain sounds, and your wife, Hebrew, and me. And the interesting thing about it is that a person who has it doesn't necessarily realize first that they have it. Once they do, then they'll start to realize that they're not waiting until the last minute to say stop it, because they're not catching on to the tap, 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 tap is what's bothering them. And then they'll be just like, their body's kind of going into a state of like, if somebody was just tapping in your ear or tapping on your face 24/7. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, would you just stop that? So what I had to do was do training within myself to take deep breaths, know ask myself the question, what sound is bothering me? So it's more sensory disease, and then turn and tell that person. But what I've noticed, I might just yell at people because, I try to say, would you not, the worst sound for me, and this is going to be so funny, is if somebody's sitting there and they have their hand on their jeans and they're moving their thumb back and forth over their jeans, that sound of that material rubbing can be just like a Mack truck coming through the room. And so your wife, the tip for her is for her to help her to stop. Hebrew, you're looking handsome with that change. You keep putting up all these handsome men tonight. But I can't whistle. So I'll be like, hey,
Neither can I. I mimicked it.
Hey, you're doing a good job for me. But yeah,
that
so
wasn't
basically to reassure her that you are on board with her, so that anytime she needs to ask you not to make the sound, you promise you will stop it at that point. But even at times when she gets to a point where maybe she yells it before asking it, that's because she's not recognizing until the last minute what is irritating her. So she's already like wound up like a clock. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense to you though, Hebrew?
Sure.
because then it becomes forgiveness at that point, and you go over and just kind of pat her and tell her, hey, no, it's okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that was irritating you. And then after a while, hopefully she can get to the point to question, what's that sound and what's causing me this irritation? She seems like a very sensitive soul, sensitive people.
I'm sorry.
My husband taps his pen.
I put in private chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, my husband taps his pen constantly. It drives me nuts, guys.
His ring?
His pen. He taps his pen on the table constantly.
I was trying to watch a documentary the other day, and this person was clicking their pen on the. Oh, you know what I was watching? I was not watching a documentary. I was watching that thing about that lady that ran off with her kids, and now she's in court. And the lawyer was clicking his pen.
I saw that.
When I'm trying, did you see the lawyer clicking it too, honey?
I did. It did, and it was driving me nuts.
I know, me too. Oh my God.
Yeah. I kept going, how unprofessional. He's a lawyer. Why is he clicking his pen like that?
But they said that she had a channel where she was in a doomsday thing, and but I can't find her channel anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been trying to actually look up her channel, to find out what stuff was being pumped into her head that would make her go that direction. And what's really weird is normally, and I pray this is not the case, but normally when you will not talk about where those children are, they're already dead.
They're already dead.
And I can tell you what I believe is going on in that case. I'm going to tell you. I believe that she killed her brother after he killed the husband. She killed her brother. Her kids saw it. And then eventually they started threatening them, and she killed her children.
Oh, wow.
Because she was trying to save herself. But it's weird because she doesn't look, when you look at her, you don't.
I don't see trauma.
But she not just you don't see trauma, but she doesn't look like she's all there. She doesn't look like a bad person, but she doesn't, at the same time, she doesn't look like she's all there. It's like she's in some kind of a.
She looks like she checked out. She's checked out. I mean, for me, this looks like she checked out. She's not even in this reality. That's how the look on her face was for me. I don't know.
And I didn't understand why the cops took so long to just get her. And if I lost my children, they would arrest me. This is ridiculous.
Who loses their children? Hello. I mean, come on. Who loses their children? Hello, seriously. Right. I saw a comment made mention somewhere that her kids possibly were in some kind of a cult, and I thought, no, that's
her cult.
Yeah.
But again,
My child.
Just really, it just breaks my heart because there was children involved and they didn't get that. I think it hurts me the most when it's children because they get the opportunity.
Yeah. When they talk about evil,
I'm already old. When it's time for me to go, I'm ready.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we have it so backwards in this world. To me, I mean, we cry at a death at a birth, but should we not be doing the opposite? I mean, if you think about it, the ones that are passing, they're the lucky ones because they're already out of this. The ones being born are coming into all this. They have to suffer still.
Well, that's what my point of view is. Like when we're at a funeral or whatever the case may be, it's exactly. Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. We're celebrating their life.
HoneyAnn, are you talking?
We should be celebrating their life, not. I mean, yeah, you're gonna mourn over the person's death, but you got to realize that they are going to a better place than what. Certainly, it's got to be a lot better than what this existence is.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree.
I'm sorry, Vivian. What were you saying?
No, I just asked Honey if she was talking to somebody in the background because I was listening to you and then I couldn't, and I heard. It's really weird. I heard whispery talk. It's okay.
I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
Honey, no, I'm glad at least you said that you were talking though, because then because when you said no, and then I was, I thought I was muted, and I thought, well, thank God she said she actually was, because I thought, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm starting to hear voices, you know?
No. Well, I've been muting myself, but I'm not on my computer. I've switched over to my cell phone, so I didn't hit the mute button. Yeah. Cricket.
You know what? This is such a lesson, this life. And it's not that it's some type of a test, but it's such a lesson to, I'm just looking at parts of my book while I'm talking to y'all. And I'm really hoping that this will touch somebody's heart in a way that they will be able to walk through this life with less of the pain that I did to myself from religious teachings and abuse that I did to myself, you know, because, you know, judging, Michelle, you were talking about, you know, you would judge yourself before you would judge somebody else, you know, that you would look to yourself, and that in itself is not good for me to do anymore either. You know, setting myself free from that self-judgment was bigger, because I was always more condemnating, I cannot say the word, good, than I was out, you know, to other people. When I started hearing of a lot of judging going on, I had a hard time understanding racism, judgment, stuff like that. I guess I grew up in a shell. I was raised in a military family. It was, you know, we were kept under lock and key. You know, the word shit, excuse my French, was a bad word. And if we said it, we got, you know, like literally the poop crapped out of it, beat out of us, you know, and so, you know, just the whole idea of the way that Michelle was talking about, you know, the world, and we've got to get past that judging. It is true. It's not going to help somebody themselves. It's not going to help ourselves to judge somebody else.
I'm laughing at Saji's.
Oh my God! Wait, that's the guy that says, "I
The
don't
most
normally."
interesting man in the world.
Right.
Yeah, he's the most. Dad, you're the most interesting man in the world.
Woohoo.
I don't always switch my avatar, but when I do, it's to that guy.
Oh, wow. You know what you were talking about, a lot of us are really critical, you know, more critical on ourselves, you know, more so than anything else. I had to kind of get past that too, because when I was younger, the way I was raised, I was really critical, you know.
Right. It's almost like an epidemic of pain, that how are we to love others if we have to love ourselves? And what I mean by love is the love of respect ourselves. Because if you say, well, I love somebody, to love somebody is to respect somebody. The action of love is respect. So self-respect enables us to love other people. Right. Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of energy in the room right now. Can you feel it? Yeah, I'm totally in agreement with you on that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm only sending good vibes. It says right here, most people run their lives based on punishment mentality. How did that page pop up out of my book? I'm going to do a paragraph to hold y'all's breath, and it just happened to be that I was reading the one before it.
Too far off topic. But
okay. Yes, ma'am.
Go into, like, you know, reflecting upon yourself, you have to go through the forgiveness. For me, that's what I had to do. I had to forgive myself, and I had to forgive others. And then you get to the point where you judge yourself, and then you know that you are forgiven, since you've been blessed with this overwhelming forgiveness that you've now experienced. In my case, I experienced this unconditional love that is beyond comprehension. Then when I'm judging myself, knowing that this love is all around me, that is what I'm talking about, that I judge myself first, and that love is there, and that's how I look at other people.
Agape love.
Yes. So to me, receiving the gift of love is what saves us. The
So
action of the
forgiveness,
gift.
the forgiveness of yourself,
Right.
and making amends with any quarrels or anything, any petty things, family issues, anything. You gotta let it go. Just let it go. And then it was, like I said, it was like swimming in like warm honey, just so much love, and it was so intense. It's the kind of love that you experience. I've never experienced it here. It was otherworldly. And then after that, that's when you judge yourself. Are you still walking in that love that has been bestowed, that grace that's been given onto you? Are you showing that and reflecting that out into the world? That's why when I'm talking about judgment, well, if we're forgiven, everybody else is forgiven. It's but then again, I had to go through the forgiveness step first. But that was for me. That's my walk. And once I got that, the self-love and taking care of myself, and then of course I got a horrible setback, but I'm still here. I'm still, taking care of my son and seeing my grandchild, and life goes on. Even with a big hole in my heart at this time, which I think, she's still in my heart. But right now, to me, it is for the survivors, also for the survivors, and it is harder on the survivors than it is the leavers. I know she's in a better place. It's just hard to not be able to have that conversation, get that hug, spend that time. But anyways, that was all I wanted to share about the judgment thing. I'm not saying look in the mirror and just tear yourself apart. When I first started making videos, it was about looking in the mirror and giving yourself at least 5 compliments. And when you get to the point where you can look yourself eye to eye and believe those compliments that you're giving yourself, you're showing yourself self-love and you're taking care of yourself.
Yes.
And you start
Absolutely.
that out
Absolutely.
around you.
Well, the state of the world that we're in right now, the state of, we've got to get out of the head space and stay in the heart space more, and that's what I've just felt the need to express that to people. We've got to stay more in the heart space.
I wrote something while you were talking, and it says, receiving the gift of forgiveness and applying love to ourselves, that saves us from self, which is the meaning of being saved. And then, of course, if you think of the 12-step program, one of the steps in 12 steps, which I haven't thought about 12 steps in like 7 years, but one is take a fearless and searching moral inventory of yourself. And I remember back in the day, I wasn't in AA, but I was in Al-Anon for people who always loved, the addicts, people who had addiction or whatever. I always loved them for some reason. Of course, my father was an alcoholic, so that kind of would say why, and in that, I would always take a fearful inventory of myself. So that's why they actually put that word in there, take a fearless and moral inventory of ourselves, but really receiving that gift of forgiveness, which was given to us by God, and applying that love to ourselves, that saves us from self, which that is what it means to be saved. Oh my God, we have Fabio is it Fabio in the room? So I was just gonna read just a little piece. Is it okay, y'all, if I just read y'all a little piece of what I wrote? Just a little piece.
You guys, I've got a stream set up in like 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to go ahead and get out of here, okay? Thank you so much.
You have a channel? You do live streams too?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Awesome.
right now I'm working on the angels from A to Z, but yeah, I have it set up. I didn't realize we were going to run this long, so thank you so much for having me, y'all.
It was so nice hanging out with you. You are a honey.
I appreciate it. And once again to Patrick, I'm sorry. I didn't intend on offending him. Okay.
Oh.
I just want to say I'm sorry to Patrick because I didn't mean to offend him.
HoneyAnn, I don't normally cut in on a ladies' night live stream to say goodbye to somebody who's leaving, but when I do, I cut into a live stream while it's happening. Say goodbye to somebody.
God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thanks
All right.
for being on.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good night.
We'll have to
Bye-bye.
do it again sometime.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
And then there was 4.
I don't normally blow my nose on camera, but when I do,
You're not on camera. It's your
Well, the ladies' night's starting to seem more like The Bachelor with all these women just falling out one at a time.
who's gonna get the next rose?
but I'm going for Fabio though. I mean, I don't find the most wonderful man in the world to be attractive. He's drinking too much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, that looks more like a spray-on tan than it does a natural one, doesn't it?
And he looks
Yeah.
like trolling.
I don't really know Fabio is handsome for me either, to be honest. He was always, I would rather go with
Wait,
Burt Reynolds, maybe. Burt Reynolds,
here's
yeah.
your guy right here.
Thank you. Oh my God. Let's not go there. That's so old. That's so over. Yeah, no, you're not going there. That's a
Now
soul,
propose to her.
that's a soul, what do you call it? A soul
Do his
heal.
voice and do his voice and propose to her.
Okay, go ahead.
He's broken to it. He can do his voice pretty darn good. Go on.
Oh my God, this cold is killing me, y'all.
I can't do it now because you're making me laugh.
All right, let's
We're
first do the
waiting.
intro.
We're waiting, Hebrew.
We're
We're waiting,
broadcasting.
Dan. We're waiting,
Yeah.
Dan.
Get in character. Do the intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Texas on the 11th hour. You know the deal.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Texas. It is the 11th hour. Do you know where your reality is? Is that okay?
That was
That
perfect.
was
Now go straight to
okay.
the
Yeah.
proposal.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah. Now that you're in character, let's hear your proposal. Try to
Dan's
stay in
gonna kill
character
us.
now.
Dan is going to kill us. He is.
Dan's right there.
Okay. He's not in here.
He's in here.
Oh.
I see him.
You know what? It's called twin flames. And when people butt the way that two people do, it's because there's growth needed and two souls that are alike can just
Supposed to
not
answer the
be.
proposal before you get proposed to.
I was already going to say no, but no, go ahead. I'm ready. Dan?
Shoot you down. Oh my God. Now that you know the answer. Ouch.
Well, Dan, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I don't know if you. I don't know.
Yeah, he does do that a lot too.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but I am married to a spoon already, so I do apologize. I'm sorry, but
A spoon?
I'm still married to the spoon.
Yeah, the spooning.
Oh, that's right. I think I remember some spoon thing. I don't know why, but
Okay, you want to use the spoon for Vivian? Does the spoon bend? Is it flexible?
sometimes, honey, people are just so blind that they can't see love right in front of them.
It's a baby spoon.
Well, honey, that baby spoon can't give you love like I could.
Oh, this is getting juicy.
Yeah, we need to hear this proposal. Spoon or no spoon? I mean, come on now.
No, the spoon helped it along because now that we know what the problem is, that you would rather have a spoon than someone to spoon, you know? Hey, Hebrew, I'm actually imagining like you do with your dolls and your toys. I was just thinking the other night, let's put Dan away for a second. I can't, the other night I was thinking, man, I wish I had a way to imagine the way you do. You know, if I could just have an imagination. And I just had a little role play there, Michelle. Actually had some fun and imagined something. Okay, so let's go back to the spoon. Dan, that spoon is not as important as a person who could be good for you. But you have to work on your ego a little bit, huh?
Well, I just remembered I have to go to the store and buy some avocados. So see ya.
Oh, isn't that the story of my life, Michelle?
Yeah.
I will push men out of proposing to me.
Well, you shot him down before you can get the words out of his mouth.
You know what? I must do this in my personal life. Why do you think I'm single for 38 years?
Because you're just too funny. I mean, like, propose to me. The answer's no. But do it.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. You know what? After all that, if you could have took that and asked me, I would have said yes.
Tricky.
But see, I'm one of those women that believe that if a man can deal with me against all odds, then and know my true inner feelings of what I've been showed, then at that point, I would have said yes. I'm sure I would have.
Tom Selleck's voice too.
Who?
I could do Tom Selleck's voice.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, here it goes. Hey guys, you like my sexy mustache?
Oh, I thought he was going to propose to me, Tom Selleck. Damn it.
No.
Damn. I'm not getting anywhere, Michelle.
By the way, that was not an actual try at an impression. I was just.
Isn't he dead or something, Tom Selleck? Is he alive still? Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's alive.
Okay, well, he's still available then, unless he's married.
Hey, Hebrew, answer pre in the chat. Where answer pre in the chat where he can find that. He doesn't know what we're talking about with this.
It's in one of I forget which one, but it's in one of the Mandela family videos.
Okay, so I did say it right. The Mandela family videos.
Mandela family.
Mandela family. What? That's Mandela effect.
Oh, Sadji was muted up. Okay, that's why.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was I supposed to do?
What was I supposed to
do? Oh my goodness.
Mandela effect.
I did too much growing right now, y'all.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Echo chamber.
Is this normal, Michelle, to do a whole bunch of growing in the middle of a show? Good Lord.
It can happen. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, define normal nowadays, you know?
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember, like, back in the day before? I mean, I guess they probably do still have them, but they're probably not as popular as they used to be. But, like, the tabloids, like the National Enquirer and the...
Oh, yeah. Tabloids.
Yeah. I remember, younger, and I would see those, and I know they're mainly satirical, and they're not meant to be taken seriously. They weren't considered legitimate journalism by any stretch of the imagination. But at the same time, I remember like a lot of things that were being covered in mainstream media was still being, I would see on the headlines of those things. Now, what I'm getting at here is, now I look on YouTube and I see a lot of these, what is the word? The banners that they come up with for their videos, and I just see like a lot of the same, more of this. Like, it reminds me of the tabloids, like some of the clickbait stuff they come up with based on what's really happening in the news. And a great example of this, I think, would be this coronavirus thing that's going on, where like just everybody and their brothers chiming in on making some type of video about coronavirus, despite their limited knowledge or whatever it is that they're going to, what rabbit hole they're going to climb down, because there's an infinite number of ones you can choose, on that specific topic. But I just came to recently realizing how much these banners are much like the old tabloids of old, and I took that thought and I came up with this notion of basically taking some, like, what if you was to literally just take some of these old ones from the 80s or 90s or whenever they were in their prime, back like when they were just doing the royal family and Bigfoot and Princess Di and all that kind of stuff, literally copying like those images and pasting them to use for clickbait on YouTube. I mean, has anybody ever thought about just doing it literally instead of figuratively?
I have a question for you, Saji.
All right.
Because I don't drink. So is drinking Corona the cause of the virus? Or if you don't drink Coronas, you're safe from the virus?
Well, if you
Oh,
haven't started showing any symptoms, you have to drink the Corona with a lemon. But if you've already started showing symptoms, you have to drink it with a lime. And
oh my God. I should have been paying attention to y'all. I thought she was serious because I floated off and came back right at the wrong time.
well, if you float off and you come back at the wrong time, you have to chug the whole beer immediately.
With a lemon and lime.
Yeah.
I just came in when Michelle was asking this question, and I thought, no way, she knows that, but I didn't realize we were doing another improvisation.
What happened?
Well, anytime somebody would ask me a question like that, I have to assume that it's a cue for me to improv.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little serious note about the Corona, just real quick. When I was watching this,
Real quick.
this
Oh,
CDC
okay, so
thing,
I mean, you don't want to discuss with or without the lime anymore. Am I correct? Because I am the guy. I am the most interesting guy in the world. And when I discuss things, I often like to include it, with some type of drinking involved in it. So
What does
put
it
the
mean?
lime in the coconut.
What does it mean when you add a slice of avocado to it?
Ew.
that means that you are probably.
You're Dan. You're Dan.
Are you making avocado pashado? Just asking.
I've never been on.
No, but when I do make an avocado bashado, I call my buddy Hebrew for the exact recipe and all the ingredients.
Okay, what's this? China has a CERN.
All right, go ahead, Vivian. Now we can get serious.
So I was just watching this small little clip today, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but this man gets up in front of everybody that's talking for the CDC or whoever it is that's dealing with this huge outbreak. And of course, the first thing that he got up and talked to us, like he was speaking in a manner that was like he was talking to a bunch of children, like the way he was talking to us. And I knew that was to keep people from panicking, the world from panicking, because there's 14 cases in the United States now or whatever. So he's like, woo, talking to us real. And I thought, it's so condescending the way he was speaking to the world, everyone be calm now, like that. It was just so robotic. And then after, this woman comes up and she starts talking about, all the outbreaks and stuff. And then this third guy comes up and he starts talking about the vaccines that they're trying to make. And they believe within a 2-month period that they can have a vaccine, and that this year will not be the only year of Corona now. We will see Corona like we will see the flu or SARS or MRS or whatever, MARS or whatever, all that other stuff, MRSA or whatever. Over the years, the Corona will now be incorporated as one of our possible viruses. And I think in 2 months, they're going to start taking these people that have already been infected or around infected, and they're going to use them as guinea pigs for this new vaccine. Well, I'm not the type that gets vaccinated, okay? So I'm not going to be able to get a vaccine. So, but I'm wondering now, is it really that the guy was trying to pacify everybody to make it sound less than what's really happening, or B, was all this to push a new vaccine that could control the world more?
And is there an option D, all of the above?
Sorry, I'm choking.
Does anybody know anybody that has been diagnosed with the coronavirus? And I'm talking about in the chat or even in here. Does anybody in here know of anybody?
Well, I've been sick for 9 days now, and God knows if that. I first got the flu, and then I got a sinus infection. The sinus infection dripped down in my lungs. and my breathing is very shallow, and I'm coughing really hard. So I have to, like, when I do start coughing, I just shut the thing off so y'all don't hear me hacking up a broken lung. And I'm not a smoker. So I don't know if my doctor, she just said, just stay home. I'm going to send you some antibiotics. There's no cure for it anyway. We'll just see if you ride out. We're not even going to test you. So I never got tested.
Which they give flu shots, flu vaccinations every year. So, I mean, I want to know if anybody has written.
I don't take the flu shot. You know, the only documentation that I know of this coronavirus is I've been watching some of the videos of the people from China. Now, some of them look like they could have been made up, but where they're showing taking care of their loved ones that have this virus. So I don't know if that's because they're put on the news about their heroism. You know, like this man, he's such a hero for taking care of his wife who has the corona. And they show him open the door and slide in a little baby table with food. And he wears all the setup, you know, and he's in there taking care of her in all this gear and you know, taking care of her round the clock with this coronavirus in his house. So I don't know if that was, again, because that was put on the news, it sounds like it could have been propaganda. Does that make sense? Like, but there is this one there is one video where this Chinese lady is literally speaking in Chinese, and she's screaming at what's happening. And I think that was more real than anything. But, you know, when you decide to get on my Facebook page, you're not on there all the time, Michelle. You can sometimes see some of the posts that I put. But I do have that posted.
Well, I mean, just to keep some perspective, because I think people have a knack for, because it's new, it's strange, it's different, it's intriguing, it all makes for interesting and diabolical ideas to occur in our minds. But I think, I mean, I don't know what all the latest numbers are, but I know it's somewhere like around 30,000 people have been tested and can conclusively have the coronavirus, and approximately 400 people have died, according to I mean, they're in the hundreds and they're in the thousands, okay? But if you take the real flu or the normal flu that is, you know, that we have here in the United States, so far in this flu season, there have been 9.7 million flu illness. Basically 10 million people in the U.S. have the flu, and 1,000 people have actually died. So you take 10 million, you know, and then 5,000. Those are huge numbers, but that's not an uncommon number. That happens. I mean, tens of millions of people get the flu, and thousands of people die every year, every flu season. So this other one that's happening.
I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was laughing at what Michael Fontaine wrote.
No, I didn't take it that way. But the other one that's happening, the numbers are nearly are nearly the same as far as the ratio goes. It's just got a new fancy name, and it's got a lot of conspiracy theory behind it. That's the only real difference between the two.
And to answer your question, Michelle, I don't know of anybody that knows anybody coming from me that has this virus, other than I have something that is really kicking my butt, and I'm sitting here talking to y'all with a fever. So
I don't know anybody.
Fever in 9 days. I've never had a fever last this long. You know what Michael Fontaine said? He said, I don't normally blow my nose on camera, but when I do, it's the money snot.
Yeah, I don't personally know anybody either, Michelle, but I think that it's one of those things where I'm not saying it's true or not true, or I think there might be a lot more going on in that country than just the coronavirus right now, as far as their political system, and they have these dissidents, that people who have haven't been. I mean, you just remembered not too long ago, Taiwan. We had all that revolution occurring. They got. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes in China than what they're willing to share with us. I think we got a lot of smoke and mirrors, and this coronavirus is part of that whole smoke and mirror cliche. That's my personal opinion.
I'm really sad, Michelle. I'm really sad right now. I passed up my chance to be engaged to Dan.
Well, hey, speaking of being engaged to Dan, Sagittariusly speaking, would you like to give this room one final shout out? And then I've got a Mandela effect I want to bring up.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. Now, this whole being engaged to Dan thing, I gotta
The
ask.
first time we did it was so perfect. The
I
first
thought
time
you
we
guys
did it came out perfect.
Huh?
I thought you guys were already married. Didn't you hypnotize him and marry him a long time ago, or is this? Am I misremembering
Well,
this?
somebody said we were married. Yeah, this guy tells this Ron always tells the whole story about how me and Dan are married. I can tell you right now, me and Dan would probably kill each other.
I'd buy that for $1.
You would buy it, or you wouldn't?
I want to give a movie recommendation. Really, because a lot of people, throw names around at people like shills and trolls and things like that. Well, trolls are just unhappy people that, they're keyboard commandos. We understand that. But there's a movie, it's on YouTube.
I'm writing it down.
It's called Mirage Men.
Spell it.
Mirage.
What you're looking at is a mirage. Go ahead.
Yes, Mirage Men, and it talks.
Men or man?
Mirage Men. M-E-N.
I don't know how to spell mirage. M-I-A-R-A-G-E.
M-I-R-A-G-E. Mirage.
M-I-R-A-G-E. Okay, I have a problem with that and the word magic. But go ahead. All right.
Okay. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the link, Vivian. But this is for the chat too. But this shows you how actually shills, the ones that they'll put out 20% of truth information, and then what they'll actually do is they'll leech onto somebody that's really successful. And let's say it's UFOs or whatever. And then they're going to go ahead and confirm the narrative, even though they'll give them 20% truth, just enough to get the trust, and then or open their channel of their own or whatever. But it kind of gives you the defining moments of how we can prove within, that what we're getting in our gut. The confirmations that we get from within are accurate because they do give themselves away. So the movie's called Mirage Men, and it's about them going in and usurping communities and, like I said, 20% truth, 80% lies. That's why I always say take what resonates and chuck the rest, because I don't know if because sometimes I do it on research. And so when I'm putting out research, it could be picked up from one of these Mirage Men type of personality that I stumbled across in my research. So
that's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting tale because what happens a lot with a YouTube creator channel is you find something, you find a topic. Okay, let's just use UFOs for example. Okay, since that was your example, or aliens or whatever, and you start making content on it. But sooner or later, or eventually, you're going to have a quote unquote slow news day, or it could turn into a slow news week, or even a slow news month, where there's not much happens in the UFO community for a while. However, you still have followers, you still want to make content, So now you have to kind of you either start rehashing stuff you've already talked about, you have to make up something, or you have to or you have to pick a new topic maybe that people aren't as interesting in and kind of branch out a little bit. But either way, you're stuck with with nothing happening but the need to keep making content. So that's where the content creator comes into a dilemma of deciding how to proceed. Because if you're only based on that one topic and that one thing and that one diet, and that's all you think people are there for, then you're not going to survive those slow news days, quote unquote, months, years, or whatever. So I think it's one of those things going back to, you just got to be yourself. You got to be interesting, and you got to be able to stay open-minded to new topics and new things. If you really want to, if you want to, yeah, if you don't want to box yourself in, because otherwise you find yourself kind of boxing your own shadow on trying not to become that guy that you accuse everybody else of becoming,
Well, in Mirage Men, the reason I used UFO is because that was what they were talking about and how they infiltrated it and pretty much took over it. And what it basically was about was military bases that were testing new technology, and people were actually observing it, and they didn't want people to observe it. So they allowed them to go along with the flow of an unidentified, which it would be an unidentified flying object, because they don't know what it is, never seen it before, right?
Well, it meets the criteria of unidentified. Unidentified doesn't necessarily mean ET phone home. I'm with you.
Right. So just if you get a chance, it's free on YouTube. Of course, there's ads, but you can do little skip ads, or if you are Prime, then there's not going to be any ads. But it is an actual movie, and it also makes you question whistleblowers. So it's just something to look at, use discernment, and I got a lot of information out of that. And when people call people shills and all of this, and it's like, okay, it's an overused term, because there's really not as many out there as we think. It doesn't take that many. And these are the people that will come out like as if they are a professional. And like I said, they'll give you 20% of the truth to hook you, and then 80% BS to keep you stringing along. So they're trying to control the narrative on when disclosure happens and things like that. It's an interesting movie. I just thought I would bring that up.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. I want to see it. And I agree with you that shill is so overused. Basically, anybody who gets to any level of notoriety by arguing against the mainstream media narrative, gets a little gas going, then all of a sudden lets up a little bit, because they realize that maybe they're just going for whatever reason. Then all of a sudden they're a shill, because what happens is they get followers that are you get a certain people a level of followers who are, for lack of a better word, extremist on that particular subject. So not only do they follow your channel, but they follow everybody's channel that does live streams or discusses this particular topic. And then as soon as there's any type of riff or some type of political happenings in the community, all of a sudden you start seeing the label shill getting thrown all in all different kinds of directions all at once. Mm-hmm. But if you actually look up the word shill, the definition, mm-hmm. It is quote unquote a noun, informal North American, an accomplice of a hawker or a gambler or a swindler who acts as an enthusiastic customer to entice or encourage others, act or work as a shill. Mm-hmm. So what is an internet shill? An internet shill is someone who promotes something or someone online for pay without divulging that they are associated with the entity they shill for. A
Exactly.
shill might create a Facebook or Twitter account, set up a blog or empty comment through these and other channels, such as discussion forums. So that.
And he tells you how it's infiltrated. I mean, everything is disclosed right there. And that's part of how this reality works. The truth has to be out there for us. It's just we have to be able to discern it.
Exactly.
Discern it. So, that's a way of
And are y'all saying that all this is kind of tying into, what's really going on with this corona thing?
No, I'm just trying to say that I think a lot of times names get thrown out at people and they're not true. They're absolutely not true. And it's used way too loosely. There's far less of them than you think. And they usually work with or for one of the alphabet agencies.
I'm sending you a video, Hebrew. Of this woman looks real familiar to the woman that was in that video I was talking about. But maybe she's not her. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to know
you're
that
fine. One last thing I want to say about what you were talking about, Michelle, is you talking about applying the discernment. Like, think about let's compare it to remember the gold rush in California, back in the 1940s, I guess it was the 49ers, right?
That's
all right. So
they wanted people to start funneling out to the west. So
yeah, exactly. So everybody goes, starts running out there to find gold. But how many people actually found gold? A few did, and some people made, off of the gold rush. I mean, there were people who made, who hit bounties and rewards. But think of the truth as the gold, okay?
Michael Fontaine.
And you gotta take this pan and you gotta dip it in the water, and all the truth, all the information that's coming across the internet is the water, right? And then you gotta lift the pan up, and you gotta shake the pan, and a lot of this stuff is falling through. The easy not gold stuff.
I found the right one. Hebrew. I'm gonna send it to you now.
Falls right through the pan. But through applying discernment, you're able to shift and come up with possible real gold. And you set that aside. That's where the discernment comes into play, kind of like when you're watching all these different YouTube channels and different things you're going to come across on Facebook.
Good.
I mean, there is a little bit of truth in there, but the amount you're going to have to shift through all of it to find the good chunks, and it's going to take a lot of discernment to get there.
Yeah, and if a channel is successful, and it's earned its rights to be successful, that doesn't make them a shill. Not
at all. It actually makes them guilty of actually doing it right for a change and getting there.
And they sure are using the word whistleblower a lot on everything. But I just want to say something really quick. The video that I just sent, it's the second link, not the first one, Hebrew. And she's actually talking about in this video that the government, she's Chinese, and she's actually saying that the government made this virus. And to hear that from them themselves is pretty interesting.
I thought that was already known.
Well, but to have somebody come, that's just a speculation. But I'm sure that it's probably true. But to have it come straight from China, somebody saying it, that's kind of a little bit of a confirmation, wouldn't you think, Michelle?
Yeah, it's chemical. I thought that
chemical warfare.
Yeah, I thought that was already.
What what's really weird is our computers have viruses, and then and humans get viruses, and you just start to wonder, how different are we from a computer?
I mean, found that out in a dream though, so because sometimes things come in at.
I don't know what happened to Hebrew. He's not responding. Is he still there, or
he's waiting for us to shut the heck up so we can?
No, Hebrew, are you there?
He wants the final shout out.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to do a shout out a while back, wasn't I?
Yeah, but Michael Fontaine said the gold rush was in 1849.
1849. I knew it was 40 because of the 49ers, but I couldn't remember if it was 18 or 19.
Yeah, I'm not that, history changes and is so much in flux. You say, I'll be like, okay, it doesn't matter. It's in it's in the past, and our past is ever changing, just like the future is unknown. Everything is malleable to the now moment.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, right now in chat we have third party Hebrew from Eternia. I like that guy. He's pretty cool. Awaken, activate with a wrench. Preliminal.
Preliminal. Preliminal. Okay, we said it for them. They forgot. It's okay.
I sent you the video, Michelle. She's actually
What about preliminal?
They're not there. A lot of them are not there anymore.
No, never mind.
All right, and then we got Go-Kart Bob, who, by the way, gets his go-kart over 100 miles per hour.
120, what I read.
Yeah, 120. And we have the bearded rhino who just decided to show up.
Nice.
And he said that Scarab Performance is a total shill.
He came on and proposed to Vivian earlier, but she said no before he could finish.
Oh, man.
Since he just got
here. We know that's not true.
How does he know? What? Dan was here. I saw him. I saw his.
Yeah, he said he had to go shop for avocados again.
Yeah, he left.
What does a shill mean? Can y'all tell me?
Well, I did do that once, but I will be happy to do it again.
Yeah, he gave you the definition, but yeah.
You've given me the definition of shill before?
I read it about, 4 minutes ago.
4 minutes ago, yeah.
Where the hell am I?
I will read it out loud again. I think it was right when you were trying to give Hebrew directions on how to do something with your file, so maybe you weren't paying attention.
Right, I wasn't. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So shill, it's a noun, North American, an accomplice of a hawker, gambler, or swindler who acts as an enthusiastic customer to entice or encourage others.
God, that is so right on. God, I didn't say that.
And an internet shill is someone who promotes something or someone online for pay without divulging that they are associated with the entity they shill for. A shill might create a Facebook.
Hello?
Did you get all that?
No, you cut out. You just disappeared. Like the last 5 seconds, you were completely gone.
It happens. I'll start over. A shill might create a Facebook or Twitter account, set up a blog, or simply comment through these and other discussion forums. So basically, it's consider it like an advocate who's been hired, but everybody thinks that they're just a fan. Like they're on every live stream donating $50, but it's really $50 that the content creator gave them to donate. So trying to encourage others to throw in donations too, so to speak. You see what I mean?
Oh, that's not nice to say about Dan. That's not nice.
I wasn't referring to Dan.
No, I'm saying to the bearded rhino.
Oh yeah.
He's saying that, but no, that doesn't match Dan. I'm sure Dan has good intentions and is doing his own growing spiritually. Maybe one day.
It's funny how you say that. I know that it's tongue in cheek when Bearded Rhino says it's Dan. At least I think it is, because I'm pretty sure I've seen him in Dan's chat room several times. So I don't think he's anti-Scarab Performance. So, but
right,
Dan actually, to me, couldn't be like, kind of epitomizes the opposite of shill, because there's been so many things that have came and went on the Mandela radar since I've been following his channel, where he could have easily overly elaborated something or easily just milk something for more than whatever it was worth just to get views up. But if it doesn't spiritually go with him, or if it doesn't resonate with him, no matter what kind of craziness is everybody else is doing, he puts a lid on it and doesn't let it grow out of proportion or make more of it than it really is, or try to make something seem more than it is, just to get.
What Sagittarius? I asked him to respond to that because he didn't. He said now that Dan works for the DJO or DOJ. And I put
Department
DJ.
of Justice.
Oh, I put it backwards. I'm having dyslexia tonight.
Thanks for interrupting my rant anyway, because you got what I was trying to say. No, I love that you did that for me, because sometimes I'm going on and on and on.
No, I really didn't mean to. I swear. I'm so sorry.
Well, I thank you nevertheless. In Hebrew, are you here? Are you there? Are you anywhere?
I don't know what happened to Hebrew. He's not even looking at anything in Hangouts that I sent him. There's no sign of him anywhere. And in a minute, we're going to hear snoring. Okay.
Gotcha.
Hebrew, are you alive? How do you say when you're looking for somebody and you're like, Hebrew, counting 1, counting 2, Hebrew.
We'll check on him in the morning and see if he's still here, running live.
Breathing. Right. He's not the only one that can close the show down, though, right?
Yeah, he's got to close it down. Well, I think StreamYard will shut him down after a certain amount of time. Hopefully he doesn't use all his hours up sleeping on.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God.
There he is.
I go away from the computer 1 second.
1 second. I can count. It's been about 7 minutes since we've been looking for you.
20.
Huh?
What are you somewhere trying to raise a chia pet?
He's probably still waiting.
I could have raised the chia pet by the time you were done with your rant. I'm just saying.
Well, I sent you something, and I told you, Hebrew, it's the second link down, not the top one. Okay, I sent you something to your Hangouts, and it's the second link down, not the first one. The first one was a mistake.
Okay.
And that link's going to show us this woman, which I thought you could maybe play it for a second. I don't think you're going to get a copyright on a news thing, right?
Nope, you're just going to get shillified for playing stuff about the coronavirus. You'll have a thing pop up for a link for World Health Organization.
Don't play it.
But that's okay. I mean, we're here to get to the truth, man. So whatever that takes, right, Hebrew?
Well, I guess so, but I don't know. Is this the one right here? I don't know what.
It's the second one of the 2 links that you.
Okay. And then after this, can I get to my Mandela effect? Oh,
Mandela effect.
Mandela.
You have one. Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
From now on, call it
that. If Michelle gives me $50 later for encouraging you to play this video, does that make me a shill?
Yes.
All right.
Or would that make us both shills?
The very definition of a shell, as you gave twice, by the way.
I can never tell the difference between
a shell
Hebrew and Sag. Y'all sound so much alike. I get so confused.
Donating to people that are community driven funded does not make you a shill. Just watch Mirage Man.
I was just trying to be funny though. I didn't mean to trigger you.
Wait.
Yeah, Bearded Rhino says that he is totally joking, that he loves Dan.
And he was Diva Dan's #1 fan.
You were Diva Dan's #1 fan?
No, I'm Diva Dan's #1 fan.
Who was the one that used to have the Diva Dan's one fan?
Oh, she's
thing.
okay.
Bearded
Who?
Rhino had Diva Dan's #1 fan. Mine was just Diva Dan is the man.
There was also Diva Dan's the man. Is
Right.
the man. That's you. That's
That
you.
was me, right? Yeah.
Y'all just could check changing your. I'm gonna come in with a new name next time. I'm gonna freak y'all out. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's watch.
What
Ready.
will it be? The truth? We'll
This lady's
put you
gonna
in
tell
jail. The
this
truth
Now
will
let
put
me
you in jail.
let me start off by saying that this lady, of course, is a show because it's obvious that she's been paid to make this video.
All right.
But-
how do you say it's obvious? Can you tell me?
No, but I'm just kidding. But the truth is, just applying discernment here, because I'm not trying to take anything away from it. But based on what I'm looking at here, how can we truly confirm that she really is in whatever country she's claiming to be in?
One of the reasons that I think it could be fake is because, do you understand that in China, if she actually did this, the government will kill her?
Right?
what
That's
she
true.
did. So
And they-
let's just look at it and then decipher it.
Right.
I thought
And
you were trying to say it was
No.
proof of it. Okay. All right.
Well,
And
I
it's just-
said that, I never said that this proof was actually honest. This is the proof that is
Example. I gotcha.
right, that was out there because you were asking for something. This was the closest to it. The other one I sent him another one. It was a woman crying over her daughter who has it. But this one I thought was real interesting.
I'm going to be quiet now. Go ahead.
Me too.
Can't.
其实呢，是我们平民老百姓，我的家人，我的父母在家等死，没有人关
Can
心
you
我
turn
们
it up a little bit?
的性命。
I
有钱
believe
也
I
买
got
不
it
得
up.
到，有钱
Well, you got to read it.
I mean,
然后香港同胞
She's not even talking in English. So just
No, because y'all are the words are right below to read it, but it's cut off because it's too
邪恶
shrink the screen, Hebrew.
腐败的政权，
okay.
邪恶的
Stop it, pause it for a minute and shrink. Okay, now start it again from the beginning.
只有一
Hold
个
on.
一个人自由发声，就是警察局。
You mean you couldn't see it when it was on full screen?
No,
no,
none
your
of us.
your Teespring was blocking it. Chalky.
Well, I mean,
Not nice, not nice.
武汉这个事情，武汉这个瘟疫，都是有计谋、有计划发出来这个瘟疫，牺牲的是我们平民老百姓，
Suffering from this disease. My family, my parents, my friends.
没有人
The government doesn't care about us normal
有钱也
citizens.
买不到
You
药，
can't buy medicine with money. You can't go to the hospital room with money. And Hong Kong, I support your independence. I support Taiwan, whatever.
香港
Tibet, Hong Kong, I support
摆脱
independence.
共产党的邪恶
The evil deeds of the Chinese Communist Party.
腐败
She's going to talk about a corrupt regimen,
邪恶
an
的
evil
社会，
society.
没有一个人可以自
Not
由
a single person can speak freely.
只有
There's
一个
no one.
一个人自由发声，就是去
If anyone speaks the truth, they'll get caught by the police. That's what she's doing.
判刑，
Illegal.
判几多年就能判几多年，
So 20 years ago, even lawmakers were useless.
这的律师都会关起来，他不会为
Okay,
政
well,
府他们有邪恶
basically,
的政权。
okay, wait.
Turn her volume down.
So what I'm gonna do is, everybody gets the gist of this, right? I mean,
No, but she goes on to talk about how the corona itself, and she goes on to say, I'm not going to keep quiet anymore. I don't care. They can kill me.
okay,
But that's it. Okay, that's it. Sorry.
all
Just-
right.
I was trying to find a video that would fit with person saying my family member has it, or, that was the reason I found it.
Okay.
That back when Michelle was talking, I was listening to her and trying to find something. I can't say I have a family member that has it unless I have it, and that's why I'm so deadly ill. But not everybody dies from this coronavirus. I think that they're blowing it up now to be able to vaccinate people. No, nobody bust in Bearded Rhino and arrest her on the video. No, but I know how the laws are over there, and she even mentions it in her video. you can get in trouble for doing something like this. And then she goes on to say she doesn't care. And my thing is, she starts crying, literally crying at the end. And it's, unless she's one good actor. You know what's really freaks me out is, where did all the people in Houston end up going? Where did all those people go? Remember, they were missing, and people were like, you know, going on about the fact that they were being shot and killed, and that remember, they were actually showing videos where the places, the shelters they were supposed to be staying were actually empty, with only like 5 or, even on the news they'd show, here's a shelter and a lady there praising and worshiping for them, and only 5 or 6 people in this shelter, when there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people that had been you know, needed to be in those shelters. Nobody knows. Where did they all go? We just passed over it like it never happened. They were actually taking them out on boats, these people, and they were supposedly boats to death, that they would put you out in the ocean and then kill you. And if this is what's really going on, this downsizing of population that I talked about with the Denver, Colorado airport murals, I don't know if I did that on your show or Dan's show. Did I do that here?
Not that I can recall, but
Yeah, you did do it here. You remember you were trying to look up the murals while she was saying scroll up, no scroll
right.
down.
Yeah, we had we went through all that trouble, and Vivian, if I remember correctly, your screen was slowing down as I was scrolling down the pictures. You kept saying, "No,
that's right. I
no,
remember now. I remember.
wait."
I remember it was one of those screen things that murals literally depicts this type of world that's going to deplete itself, and then everything is going to come back in a more, what they believe is more world peace. It's really going to be less population. It's population control. Look, I am going to get a little deep on this one for 1 second. I even believe that all our clouds are made, and because I've watched plenty of videos on that, and they're taking over the water, and they're picking places to flood, and to even our fires, the people that actually had those fires in California that burned those houses down in that really weird way about a year or so back. They actually went online and had a blog where they were talking about they never saw anything but this really weird blue light in the sky when their house caught on fire that came down toward their homes. So that seems to me like some type of space warfare, you know, something that the government has created, or who knows, alien life? I don't know. But I do know that we are in a really different time right now. And I know we don't need to focus on this all the time, but there needs to be some real strong prayer for the people we love around us right now and everything, because this is bigger than what they're saying, or it's a scare tactic. But if you gotten in and watched any of the videos on the streets of China, they're like deserted. They're like empty. There's nobody in them. When these streets were just filled with people. Where are all the people?
Well, I mean, on a more like going with what you're saying today, Donald Trump actually did propose a bill to Congress for $1.5 billion to be set up towards the U.S. preparing for this coronavirus to be able to set up.
Why didn't he? You know, I'm glad he did that, but he should have also helped Puerto Rico. You know. So. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about all the things he could have, would have, but the fact that he actually did that today means that, you know, there's something to it. And the only way you're really going to know for sure is when you go to the shop here in the next month or two, or the next few weeks or so. Tell me, especially if you're in a Walmart or a place that carries things that come from Japan, China. If the shelves are empty, there's probably more truth to it than there is fiction.
So you're saying that part of that money that he gave them was to pull these things off the shelf, or no?
No, he's basically put $1.5 billion in order for the U.S. to set up infrastructure to combat the virus. For us
But
to
is
set up,
combating the
for
virus
us to
also
set up
taking off?
quarantine. Yeah, for us to set up our own quarantines, our own medical facilities to be prepared to test for it, to set up for when it hits us.
But will
Because
that mean will that mean emptying stuff off the shelves that came from China and stuff?
no, the things with the empty shelves from China is if there really are that many people sick and they really are shut down and nobody's really going to work, then we're going to stop receiving goods from China.
Right. And I did hear that I heard a joke, don't pop your bubble wrap. The air came from China. But but yeah, I did hear that there were things that were already starting to have effect. I cannot remember them off the top of my head, but they
Well,
actually named
the few of the items that are already being affected are automobile replacement parts. Like if let's say your car needed a new solenoid, well, the only place that makes the new solenoid is often in China. You see what I'm saying? And another
Right.
thing that's being affected is high-end electronics, like the new iPhone and things like that. They're manufactured there. And then
But
the
I don't
other,
understand. Why would China do, if it was man-made, why would China do this to its own people? That's what I want to understand. Because did we do it to them? Or did China do it to them? When
I
we
don't
talk
think
about
anybody really knows the answer yet. There's a lot of speculation. What
do you think?
I think that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes there than what we're
Do you think that,
actually
that
able to
America
see.
did it so that
Yeah.
do you think America did it so that we wouldn't we would stop getting, because Trump didn't want us to get goods from places no more. He wants us to be self-sufficient.
Well, they had actually he had finally took the tariffs off of China, and they were actually supposed to finally start doing the free trade again. And they had signed contracts to buy such and such and such from us if we buy such and such from them. And it was all supposed to be, back to business as usual.
Because
where
then it
everybody,
definitely is not. Yeah, then I'm wrong on that.
So I mean, as far as who's really at fault here and who, I think it may have been one of those things where okay, let's agree for maybe that it was chemical warfare or whatever. It was some type of lab created thing. Now the next question is, did it just get out? Maybe they didn't follow the right protocols at that particular center. Somebody managed to didn't wipe off the right thing before they left the lab, and they came out with a rag still in their pocket from when they were inside the lab, and the lab was drenched in the virus. I mean, I'm just speculating here, but I'm saying it's possible that they had made it, but they didn't mean to release it. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying that that's true or not true. I'm just saying that seems like that would makes more logical sense to me than governments trying to kill off its own people and ruin its potential to be an economic force in society anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, we don't also know why this woman would come on and say it was her own government that did it. And I am now being shown some Cheez-Its online here from Hebrew. I think he's ready to. Oh, look, the Peanut Man is on the ball with the thing that they're trying to say. That's why we remember the monocle differently, because that Peanut Man. I never saw the Peanut Man. What is these? These cheese balls that don't look right?
Planters used to make cheese balls. I think they just recently started making them again. I'm not sure.
Is this one of Hebrew's?
Let's do the Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
There you go. That Hebrew. Enough of the stark talk, and let's
that's what I was trying to move on to. That's what I'm saying.
Let's move on to the ball. You're asking.
Your ME, Hebrew. Let's do it. Let's
do it. Let's hear about his ME.
Yeah, I said ME this time. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, that's corona stuff, man. That's a deep rabbit hole, Vivian. I don't know that I can go down it.
I see it. I see the Mandela effect on the can.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's what I'm trying to do is switch gears here. From all the
flip it
Sorry.
and reverse it. It's ladies' night and the feeling's right. It's ladies'
Yes,
night.
it's ladies' night. Tonight's the night. So do you see cheese spelt two different ways or something?
Now here's the thing. Here's what I discovered this when HoneyAnn was saying way earlier back when she was talking about herself being the cheese ball. I had said I have an actual that there's a Mandela effect about cheese balls. Mandela effect, I know.
Mandela effect.
Mandela
effect.
What's
I
up?
don't ever remember cheese balls being cheese balls.
No, I don't either.
And the funny thing about this can, is you see down here, it's spelt the way this. You would think this would be spelt up here, cheese, like cheese. Cheese, not with the Z. So I wanted to ask members of the audience in the chat what they remember of this, if they remember Planters cheese balls. And I think I also have
Mr. Peanut's on there. You can see his cane. He's just way off to the side.
Can you turn it a little bit so we can see the cane?
No, because it's a photo. It's an image.
It's a photo. I don't think anybody could be that still.
No, you can see his hat, the brim of his hat. You can see the cane. You can see his little white hand over the balls. And you know what? The balls look so fake. I mean, they're all.
Wait, you can see the monocle on his eye too. You know that? You can see the monocle.
His little white hands over the balls. You're right.
Yeah.
Observation. Uh-huh.
Those balls don't even look right. They look like they're hollow, right?
They look just difficult. Like chips, almost, not balls.
Right.
Now, I know this is kind of cheesy, but how did you get on this live stream and get all these people to talk about your cheese balls?
But look at the S there. You see that?
Yeah. I didn't agree with. Yeah, that's different.
Uh-huh.
But do you think it was CHEZ or CHE?
I'm sorry.
Your mic.
Here.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still doing it now? Is it doing it now?
Yes, and you know what? I'm wondering if it's like they're having to let us know that it's really not cheese at all. There's nothing.
Yeah, I think that might be the disclaimer: is there's no cheese in those balls.
Right.
Hebrew, I'm going to come out, but will you please let me back in right away when I leave?
Hell
I'm gonna come
no. You're too dark tonight. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Get your ass out and come back in.
Okay.
She's like, I'm not dark. But they do look weird. Like holes in them.
I want to show you guys another one. Hold on, let me take a picture of it. This time I'll make sure I get Mr. Peanut's hands on the can.
Yeah, but can you see where this Emmy kind of like reveals itself to be so fake? This is just utter like styrofoam that you're eating. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he ever told you, but the other day, before our Shifty Sunday, he said he might mention it. But I came to the realization that red licorice has never contained any actual licorice. That only the black licorice has licorice in it. Yet
Really?
Twizzlers and Red Vines and all those places let you believe that the red is red licorice, even though it's just cornstarch. There's no actual licorice in it at all.
Huh. And maybe it's the texture that they're talking about. I don't know. I don't like black.
I'm proposing the ME on that. I know it's far fetched, but I really do believe that when I was a kid, red licorice had a kind of a peculiar taste like black licorice, and it had licorice in it, just not as much. And I think that that's the old Earth reality, but that's just me.
That's so strange because my dad loved the black licorice and I hated it, but I loved the red one because it did not have licorice in it.
Right.
So
And I
we have a
just
different
remember
reality.
it being like slightly not as good as like it still was good, better than the black because it didn't taste as strong. But I thought it
Right.
still had like a hint of licorice taste to it
It
as
probably
well.
did. And did you know licorice is super good for nausea? And you can get licorice drops and put them under your tongue or in a cup of water and drink them down. And you don't want to overdo with licorice, but licorice has very good healing properties to the stomach. Is that forgivable now,
All right,
Michelle?
back to the
I
side.
was
Yeah.
messing with you, sweetie.
Well, I'm so sensitive, girl, because I've been so sick. It's unreal.
Well, somebody mentioned that one of the effects for this specific virus is seizures. Like people are falling to the ground having
Oh, I
seizures.
know that. You know what? I think that somebody said that, but then when I saw the video where the people were falling and their heads were splitting open, I don't think it had anything to do with the coronavirus. I think those were random videos of people who had something else happen, and that's when they would fall and their head would hit the ground and split open. I don't think it had anything to do with this time frame of the coronavirus. I believe that was fake. I saw that. I saw the videos of it. And I don't want to be dark now. Look, there's the monocle. There's
Now
your
notice
peanut.
the monocle on Mr. Planners is on the right eye. On Monopoly Guy, it's on the left eye. Just saying.
Is it on the left eye on Monopoly Guy?
Yeah, it's always on the left eye, the eye that's standing out the most. Because you know how his right
And it
eye.
always be the opposite arm of the cane because you can't hold a monocle and a cane with the same hand.
Right.
Yeah, I always thought it was on the other side. That hit the one on the can that he has, the monocle of the Monopoly Man is on the other side. So there's no way they're going to tell me that we don't know what we're talking about.
And he had a cane too.
Yep.
Hey, Vivian, I wanted to tell you something.
Okay.
You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, wait, there was no way anybody was going to tell you that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh. Oh my God, my cough makes me sound like a raspy drunk smoker.
Okay. What's
Right.
sponge candy?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm hungry with all this candy cake, Cheez-Its, or whatever they are. Can I please ask a question and don't freak out on me? But I used to spell cheese differently than everyone. I remember cheese being this. Now, does anyone remember this? It was spelled Chease, cheese. Why
No.
is cheese? See, I have always known cheese to be with the A in it. Cheese, because it was the word ease, E-A-S-E. Listen what I'm saying, Michelle. Listen. Write down C-H and then the word E-A-S-E. That's cheese. And now it's always just C-H-E-E-Z-E or S-E, right? Or C-H-E-E-S. C-H-E-E-S, right? So it's just, I could have swore it had an A in it, y'all.
Well, I've never really been much of a cheese whiz, but
I'm a cheesy person.
It's not easy being cheesy.
I'm a cheesy woman.
I don't. I remember it with an E at the end. It's C-H-E-E-S-E. It's always been that way for me. I don't know. But then again, some people are affected by different things at different times, and that's the beauty of this. It's it's so individualized.
And they took the name of the red Twizzlers. They used to be called red licorice. And they actually changed it to Twizzlers, which doesn't associate with licorice at all anymore. Do you notice that?
I don't
Yeah.
even like Twizzlers. I like red vines.
But what I had a bag of them the other day, the Twizzlers, and I decided to look it up online, and that's when I found out the information about how
red
they
vines.
they purposely don't write the word licorice on the packaging because there is no licorice in the red ones.
Hold on a second. I'm actually found something here.
But there's all kinds of residue that makes red licorice with red licorice being called red licorice.
Yeah, check this out. I looked this up. The red vines are actually called licorice. Do you see that?
Really?
Original red twist licorice. The red vines. Let me see if I can blow this up.
Well, the Twizzlers, I used to like Twizzlers, and then they started to be too like waxy tasting and harder to chew. I like the red vines.
There it is. Red vines.
Red twist licorice. There it is.
Michael Fontaine said, please look up sponge candy. It melts in your mouth when you eat it.
I think it's something nasty.
Okay, we can do that.
Everybody say it's Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine?
Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
You gotta say it just like that. Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
Now, what is
something like a movie star's name.
Tonight.
Let me see if I can pronounce that. Preliminal. There's no other N, so it really throws it off. So
no,
it's
I'm adding my extra.
Preliminal.
It's like think of subliminal and then just say preliminal.
Oh.
Preliminal.
It looks like fudge.
I mean, I've been out of work so many days, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I cannot do my job and cough and snot all over people, y'all.
Okay, what's a spooge candy? Oh, okay, it's such a thing. All right, blow that sucker up.
What is a
kind? Okay, hold on.
A sponge candy. What is a sponge candy?
You hear what I called it?
A smooth.
I was ignoring that, Michelle. I was trying to ignore that.
So much trouble.
Michelle, did you call it a smooch candy?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's what I called it. A smooch candy.
I just can't do all this sugar, y'all. I have to make it out of maple and stuff.
There's a blow up of it.
Of one kind. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a sponge.
Oh, it looks just like sea sponge. Like sea sponge. Oh, I do have a delay on my computer from my phone. It's just crazy. That looks so wicked.
Wow, that looks like something you get out of the ocean.
I wonder if you can hand make it at home, just like, if you can get a recipe on sponge candy. I'm gonna look that up.
You would have to rinse it out first, but I guess so.
I'm gonna try to make some out of
Never mind.
Ew.
It almost looks like it's a caramel flavor once it's cut through. Or chewed. I can do.
There's something on how to make sponge candy.
I wonder how long that took her husband to create. That looks like peanut butter.
Like a peanut butter sponge. That looks just like a loofah. I'm sorry. That looked just like a loofah.
That's a peanut brittle there.
Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, that looks like
I gotta watch the phone screen because that's the more accurate one. But there was one you pulled up that was just like
See, that
exactly.
looks like what you would find in the ocean, like the coil, like underneath like a reef
Mm-hmm.
or a moon
Like
crater.
a piece of coral or maybe a loofah sponge.
Yeah,
There's
loop a
also-
sponge or the moon.
There's also something called sea foam candy.
Let's look
Yeah.
at
Oh,
that.
I know sea foam. I know sea foam. I've had sea foam
what it looks-
candy.
See what it
Sea
looks like.
foam candy.
Sea foam candy. Where are you getting this stuff? I'm gonna write that down.
He's
I'm
on
just
Bing.
starting to want
That's
It
to
right.
eat,
looks the
y'all.
same as sponge. It looks exactly the same. Look, check this out.
But is it sea
That's
foam
probably-
color or?
Because it looks like what you would find, underneath a nice, reef.
Too bad it's not seafoam color, which would be a blue. Seafoam like paint. Have y'all ever seen seafoam paint? It's more that modern kind of blue bathroom. I thought this candy was going to be that color. That sucks.
Like a turquoisey, oceany blue.
Yeah. Like when I really want to be at the coast so bad, but I don't want to go alone. I really need to get away, y'all. Even though I'm off my job right now for almost 2 weeks. Now only 5 more days. It'll be 2 weeks of not able to work. Could you imagine me working right now and coughing on somebody and they'll be like, what you have? Then they get sick and they blame it on me, No.
You shouldn't be doing energy work when your energy's that low anyways.
No, I can't. It's not just energy. I could do even where I just sit down and
Still
talk to
gonna
the
be
person.
using energy.
I can't. I'm too sick. I don't have enough to heal my own self.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to get better.
Oh, I get what he's saying.
I've got
about
to
the
get
whips.
better. I've got to get better.
No whips. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Get that candy out of you, honey.
Stroke. And then they whip you.
Yeah, because you're not
Stroke me.
you're not
Stroke.
creating enough for the full pan, and guests are coming, so you better hurry up.
So, well, hey guys.
Yeah, on that note.
3 hour past the 3 hour mark. I think this would be a good time as any to start wrapping things up. What do you guys think?
I think we had a lot of fun and it was really nice. And y'all gave me some energy back. I've been, just in isolation and it was really nice being on your show. I had a lot of fun.
I would like to thank all of you guys for being on here, and HoneyAnn and Connie Joe when she was on here.
And one of them is live now. Can you shoot that link to their channel or whatever in the Taco Tuesday?
Are
you gonna pop over there?
Well, I mean, I don't have. I guess I can go find. I don't think. Hold on.
Well, you found her. You gotta have contact.
I mean, yeah, I'm probably subbed to her, but I don't know.
Like I had a hard time finding yours. It didn't show up in my notifications.
What is the channel we're trying to send the link for? I can do it real quick.
I don't know.
Whichever one was going live.
Like, HoneyAnn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
I think I have her in my subs. Let's see here.
Does anyone in the chat want to go to another chat? We could throw it in the. They could possibly throw it in the chat room too.
Is she on her own channel or on someone else's?
I got it.
Oh, okay, cool. Throw it in the chat, brother.
And
so you can throw a chat in our chat. That's amazing.
Huh?
That's like layers upon layers of milk chocolate. It's all that chocolate talk, y'all.
Mm-hmm. I see how it is.
I can't even have coffee, Michael. I would love coffee. Nope, no caffeine for me either.
I don't see her in any of my feeds. I know I'm subbed.
Just look her up at the top of your computer, like go up and just put HoneyAnn, like on Google, on YouTube without doing it.
I'm just scrolling
Do you want-
through. I guess I could.
Do you want me to try to find it and then send it to
Oh wait,
you?
Teddy just sent the link. It's in there. Oh my gosh, Michelle disappeared. We're about to say
All
our
right.
final.
So I can do a final shout out, and I got the link in the chat.
I thought you already did a final shout out. You gonna do
Okay, I thought that's what you were going to ask me to do. All right,
You gonna do a final shout?
final shout out. All right.
Yeah.
Now this is final, guys. So you can't change your bet after this one. Bearded Rhino wants to know, is that Magnum PI? Would you like to answer him, Hebrew?
Sure is, brother. Would you like to hear my Magnum PI impression again?
He said no. He does not want to hear your Magnum PI impression.
I do.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
Kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding. But no, I can't.
Do you want me to finish the shout out while you
Hey,
do that?
Michelle.
Hey, let's hear your Burt Reynolds.
Beautiful's back.
Yeah, I don't have a Burt Reynolds.
Got a long way to go, and it's short
Time to get there.
We're gonna do what they say can't be done.
That is my theme song now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Are y'all sure you're not brothers?
We're brothers from a different mother.
Are you really?
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't everybody?
No, I'm saying, are you really related from your fathers?
No. Oh no. No,
Well, because you seem so much alike, it's almost uncanny.
well, you know, I guess we do have sort of a spiritual connection. I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
sometimes I can't tell y'all apart. I'm telling you.
You mentioned that a few times, but I see quite the contrast. I think, but at the same time, I think our where we contrast, we complement each other. So I think it's a
Right.
good thing.
I do.
No, I mean, I'm telling y'all, y'all are just like brothers. I'm not lying. I mean, wouldn't that be weird if you really were some relation down the road, cousins or something?
Well, yeah, that would be weird. Like if his great grandpa used to hang out with my great grandpa, and they used to like whittle sticks together and stuff. That would be cool.
You
Maybe
know,
you're just
And what are you,
spiritual.
we're all
what are you
related.
insinuating with the whittling sticks, swapping grandmas, and maybe you guys really are brothers?
Oh boy. Oh no.
Maybe he wasn't. Yeah, maybe he wasn't with your grandpa hanging out. He was with your great grandma hanging out.
Whittling sticks.
Here-
But
here-
they were all in on it.
Wait. No, let's not be talking about whittling sticks and that kind of stuff.
Pixie
I tell you what, though, my grandpa, he sure could whittle a fine stick.
God.
Well, you think you're a fine stick? Well, I'm proud of you, Bert.
We're not whittling sticks together. No.
Sword fight, lightsabers.
I believe we'll call that front.
That movie was funny with the glow in the dark. I'm sorry.
Did you
That
not?
was.
Did you hear what I said? Bum.
No, Hebrew, I'm not going to come over and try any of your cheese balls.
Oh my God. Listen, is it normal for your chest to hurt from coughing?
Well, yeah, if you're coughing
Yes,
so much.
especially if you've been doing a lot of coughing and you don't normally cough a lot. Your muscles are sore from all that coughing.
Actually, it's a good exercise.
In 1 week, I've lost 7 more pounds, y'all.
71?
No, in 1 week I've lost 7 more. So I've lost a total of about 47 pounds right now.
That's the only good thing about being sick, you know.
Well, no, the 40 I didn't lose from being sick, sweetheart.
Okay.
But I do have an update. I'd like some prayer. I'm going for a I did see my cancer doctor last week, and excuse me, and I'm going to be. She is going to make me go through that gallium scan,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be for a few weeks. She said I got 6 months to make myself do it.
Listen to sorry, I wasn't laughing about you. I was laughing about what the bearded rhino said. This has gone down. It has. Hey, bearded rhino, you should have heard our talk backstage. I'm telling you, you don't know nothing yet.
Oh, we're not backstage?
No.
You're still live?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hi. I mean, oh.
Oh, she's all
Oh, my bad.
Go.
It's okay. Remember what we said about just being human and having fun and being ourselves.
But really, it is funny with the glow in the dark things when the husband shows up, puts one on, and the boyfriends, and they're both like fighting, and all you can see is these lights, swords going. Yeah. Oh my God.
What are we talking about?
It was a movie, like Animal House movies or
what
something.
kind of
Oh,
movie?
okay. I don't know. Well, I don't know. When I heard husbands putting something on and it standing up and glowing in the dark, I thought 2 men in a room with condoms.
Yes.
You know.
That's exactly right.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's such a, I'm turning red over here now.
No, this is. Oh, between my cheese balls and the Whitland sticks and your glow in the dark condoms, I'll tell you what. I think it's time to end the show.
Okay.
And head on over to the other. It is live. I accidentally got myself. I got removed out of here when I went over there, and it is live. So if you want to go and follow that link that Sag put in there, it is live now.
Yeah, go follow the link and say Hebrew sent me.
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you,
the show, though. Just saying.
Honestly do not know how much longer I will be able to stay up because I'm sitting at a desk since the first day sitting up in 9 days. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get the Taco Tuesday thing ready and we are out of here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I am going to go to HoneyAnn's live stream. I'm going to say Hebrew sent me. I'm hoping to see somebody else over there say it with me.
I'll be there.
All right.
I'll try to be there a little bit.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be working on my Ghostbusters movie.
Well, you can still click the link and say Hebrew sent me. That would be funny.
Wait, Hebrew sent. Okay, yeah.
Click the link on what? You mean to go to her channel and say Hebrew sent me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I'm going to do it right now. Hebrew. BRO sent me.
Okay, everybody, mute up so he can zip.
All right,
us up.
I'm muted. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.
Unmuted. I love you guys. Thanks for having us.
Love everybody.
Everyone for being here and for hanging out with us on this very special edition of Taco Tuesday. And as a reminder, just a friendly reminder, everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and we do want you guys to express your opinions, and we do encourage. In fact, we encourage it, but all I ask is to be respectful to the other channels to the other chatters and the people on the panel. That I just want to leave that as my final note. And that's it.
Somebody said hi.
That's all I'm saying. The bearded rhino says more cowbell. That's a Saturday Night Live reference for people that don't know. But anyway, that's my final thought.
Somebody said Hebrew is an agent. When I put, somebody said hello, and then somebody said who's Hebrew, and I'll tell them. And then another person said Hebrew is an agent.
I'm a shill. You should have told him I was a shill.
I'm not going to say that to this whole Christian group over here.
Oh,
they're all like,
okay.
Yeah, they're all very into Tina's God is Love, and they're reading a thing about angels first in heaven right now. And I'm going to be very respectful to their channel, like I would yours. Yes, so I'll just try to say Hebrew is a show I was just on. What's your name of your show, Hebrew? How do you spell it so I can put it on there?
It should be in the thing. I mean,
I'll just put Hebrew's channel.
a lot of those guys, I think, watch my Thirsty Thursday. I know Tina's Love does, and Exo Silly and Preliminal, all those guys. Anyway, guys, final thoughts before I play it out.
Michelle, it was so nice seeing you and talking to you again, huh?
Yeah, let's let him put his exit thing up, and we can talk backstage about the other stuff.
Okay.
All right. So, again, thanks everyone for stopping by and watching the show and chatting. And it's been a lovely Ladies Night Taco Tuesday. And good night, everybody. Where is that thing at? Oh, there we go. Guess it would help if I turn the sound on. There we go. And play.
It's a pretty down night right now. Because it's Taco Tuesday.
Go! Ready to eat some tacos, bro? Ready to eat some tacos, bro?